This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. It is Tuesday, August 10th, my sister's birthday.
Yeah.
We've got some big news about New York Governor Andrew.
It was just weird because you pointed to me.
Yeah, my sister. We have some news about New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. We will get to that in just a bit. But first, along with Alan Brandon, my brothers, of course, from another mother, we got Dr. Coley with us today. Such an honor to have you with us, Doctor. Thank you.
I'm your sister, right?
100%, like for real. All right, so if you've got family or friends in the military, this might affect you, and we're going to talk about it right now. The Secretary of Defense announced that U.S. military members will now be required to get the COVID-19 vaccine beginning next month. Officials said the vaccine is necessary to maintain military readiness. But do these mandates really work to get more people vaccinated, especially since a lot of people don't like to be told what to do? So, Dr. Coley, what are your thoughts on this?
So science has actually looked at this, you guys. So there's the top-down approach where the government decides what we do, and then there's the bottom-up approach where it's a grassroots efforts and people are engaged. So if the thing we're talking about is not controversial, like for example, you have to wear clothes to work, That's not a controversial
Not
thing,
for
right?
Al.
Hey, Charles, have a chit chat.
Are you wearing pants? So that's a top-down approach that would work because it's not controversial. But when it comes to something like masks, which have become so controversial, people are really saying that a combination of top-down and bottom-up should work really much better.
So bring both together.
Yeah,
Right.
but I think that that's a big source of confusion for people because they're like, well, why am I being asked to put a mask on again? We've done the vaccine. I know certain people around me have been vaccinated. I don't know if everybody has, so why am I wearing this again? So what would you say to them?
You know, I'm really glad you asked me that because vaccines are so effective. And the reason that the masks have come back is for us to protect the 1 out of 2 Americans that have not yet gotten vaccinated. Now, granted, there's some that can't get vaccinated, and we want to protect those, such as our kids and our elderly population that can't. But for the ones that are choosing not to get vaccinated, that's the reason we're wearing masks right now. If everybody got vaccinated, let's say we were in a dream world where everybody could get vaccinated and got vaccinated, masks would be gone.
So we're wearing masks for the unvaccinated.
Exactly.
To protect them.
We are wearing, as vaccinated people, masks to protect the unvaccinated because we're giving off the virus. Now, there's a second reason as well, which is a public health reason, which is that just as the virus spreads more, it has more chance to mutate, and one could emerge that is resistant to the vaccine. So we're also wearing them to prevent the spread of the infection.
But Dr. Coley, a lot of people aren't going to get the vaccine. I'm sorry, I'm going off script a little bit here. A lot of people are not going to get this vaccine. So can we see some sort of compromise, or we can see a rise in testing? Will that ever be a thing?
So in the absence of getting the vaccine, Brandon, you're right, that testing is really going to help us sort of bridge the gap. But ultimately, it's got to be the vaccine. And why do you say a lot of people aren't going to get the vaccine? Tell me 2 good reasons why people won't get the vaccine.
Just go online, go on Twitter. You can find a million reasons.
I said good reasons.
I know. I'm just saying, but for whatever that reason is, they're not going to get it. You know, no matter what you say, no matter what I say.
Well, unfortunately,
so I'm just saying, within the NFL, there is a rise in testing for the unvaccinated. I'm wondering if we see that in our own society.
I think you're going to see a rise in mandates, just like the military, including the NFL. I hope so, but many people disagree with me. All right, let's get to another big controversy going on right now. 2 of the hardest hit states with this new Delta surge are Florida and Texas. Okay, if you're watching from there, listen up. The governors of those states have banned mask mandates, including in schools. But several school districts are now going against those orders, including Dallas, Austin, and Tallahassee. Then yesterday, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis threatened to withhold pay from school officials who are retaliating. So, Dr. Coley, I don't want to talk about politics. That's not why we're here. From a medical perspective, and I mean that, should kids be wearing masks to school this fall? Yes or no?
100% yes. Okay, and work with me here. So there's 3 breaks that we have on this virus. You're the first break, you're the vaccine. Al is the second break, he's the masks, and Brandon is the third break, and that's keeping kids out of school while this variant is so prominent in our community. Kids can't get the vaccine, so you're out.
I'm out.
Yep. Yeah. Kids can't stay out of school another year, right?
They cannot.
Because that's not going to work for their social and intellectual development. So what do we have left to protect our kids?
Put it on my shoulders. Put me in the game, coach. I'm ready.
All masks.
Cue in the left-handed.
That's right.
That's amazing.
But what about the parents who are worried about the kids who actually have to wear a mask? Because again, online, this isn't me, online, people are saying it's going to mess them up psychologically, emotionally. It's going to mess up their heads.
Great question.
Do they know what 7th grade does?
Yeah.
What? That's the reason bars exist, because of middle school.
Actually, the masks cover up your acne.
Yeah.
So it may make middle school a little bit easier.
That'd be a good selling point.
That is a good selling point.
Well, I think you bring up a really valid point, Brandon, and I think a lot of parents are thinking about this because we look at each other's faces and we recognize emotion by looking at somebody's entire face, right? Okay. But they actually did a study at the University of Parma that looked at covering up half the face, and guess what? Most of us can still recognize people's emotions. So that part of the child won't develop normally, let's take that off the table. Now, the second part of it is that, will a child be able to tolerate a mask all day long? And that's where you really want to try to put a breathable mask on your child, not necessarily an N95, just something that they can wear all day. But kids are so plastic, their brain is like putty. You can tell them anything you want, and I'll share a story with you guys. My nephew came to visit last week, and we went to Target, and I left my mask in the car. He said, Auntie, you forgot your mask.
There we go.
Because he had
There we
his on
go.
and I didn't have mine.
They're quickly flexible.
And also,
it's
it
the
seems
adults.
to work on Halloween with the mask. Kids wear it, so just every day has to be Halloween.
Yeah, get a cool mask.
Kids
or
will wear
something.
masks.
Yeah,
there
exactly.
it is. Problem solved.
All right, I heard about this and I was shocked, and I definitely wanted Dr. Coley to talk about this. You may have heard Christina Applegate, who is 49. We're switching gears here. She just revealed on Twitter that she was diagnosed with MS, multiple sclerosis, a few months ago. Christina tweeted, "It's been a strange journey, but I've been so supported by people that I know who also have this condition. It's been a tough road, but as we all know, the road keeps going unless some bleep blocks it." So, Dr. Coley, a lot of people don't know about MS. We want to know, what are the earliest symptoms? So if you're watching at home, you can tell, hey, Dr. Coley warned me about this.
So, you know, it's a little hard to say because it's a systemic illness. It's an autoimmune condition where your immune system attacks your nerves. So you get neurological symptoms. You can get eye symptoms. You can get brain symptoms like confusion, memory loss, loss of balance. And then you can get spinal cord symptoms like numbness or tingling, loss of bladder control, even sexual dysfunction. But I don't want everyone out there who has sexual dysfunction to think that they have MS. But at the same time, keep your radar up. If there's any funny neurological symptom involving the eyes, the brain, or the spinal cord, that's when you reach out to your doctor.
Like a toe is tingling, a hand is tingling, that's something to be...
Not for a second.
But I mean,
but
all
persistent.
day. Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Wow.
But is there a certain age where can you get it tested? Like, can you be proactive on it?
You can get it tested. So an MRI, there's an invasive test called a spinal tap that you can also do to diagnose it. Women have a higher incidence than men do of multiple sclerosis. But any funny tingling or funny neurological thing that doesn't seem right, get it checked out.
I mean, we know also Selma Blair, who is, I think, my age. She went to University of Michigan as well. She also has MS and has been documenting it on Instagram.
Yes,
if you guys want to follow her.
Yeah,
right.
She's amazing. She wears cool canes and really, really explains and talks about it. So that's always good
You know,
to know.
looking at people who have MS, it's so inspiring because it's a chronic illness. It waxes and wanes, so you have these flares that can get triggered by things like stress, viral infection. But the way that I've seen some women manage their MS, it's incredible.
Wow.
Can I just ask quickly? It seems like Montel Williams, the talk show host, has MS. Why does it seem like he's thrived so much? He seems like he's doing really well, and it seems like he was diagnosed almost 15 years ago, 15, 20 years ago?
That's a really good question, Al. And the reason is some people's MS, the baseline or the flares are really bad. And other people just have like a little low-grade MS. So it can be very different and very different.
So it's really different for each person. All right. Dr. Coley, you are incredible.
Thank you
for your knowledge. Coming up on DBL, our interview with the Kristen Bell and Dax Shepard. What do they really think about that weird anti-showering headline out there now? I know you've heard of it. And yes, Andrew Cuomo resigns as governor of New York. What he said about leaving his post amid sexual harassment allegations. That's coming up next.
Closed captioning provided by
Hi there, DBL Nation. Happy Tuesday. It's Kelly Schubert here with the DBL digital team. Let's continue the conversation at the desk.
That was awesome.
Dr. Coley, do you have a few minutes
Thank
to
you
hang
so
around?
much.
Always for you guys. Yeah, I have a question.
And this is how real our show is because the question that I asked her
Was off the cuff.
off
Yeah.
the cuff, unscripted. Because like I do my work with the New York Giants, I'm vaccinated, but I still get tested once every
Every
2
time you
weeks.
land there,
Every
yeah.
2 weeks. Or last year, I got tested 3 times a week.
And I'm
going
so
in.
glad you mentioned that because the idea of testing vaccinated people is something we haven't talked about.
Exactly.
And-
That's
but-
what's scary. I mean, I know some people are still getting tested weekly because they have such bad anxiety about it. But I mean, as long as there's a fine line between that, I think if you're going to get tested, it's a smart thing to do. If
But
you're having a
my
headache
thing
or
now, like some people are just not going to get vaccinated. And like you said, give me the reason. I can't give you everyone's
there is
reason
no good
why they're
reason.
not going to get reason. So that's why I'm saying instead of making it to where restaurants or you only have to have a vax card or vax passport
Yeah.
to get into a restaurant. Test like crazy. Who's coming in? Who's going where? Contact tracing, that sort of thing. Because these restaurants, a lot of these restaurants, they're bleeding. Like, they're still hurting
But
right
that's
now.
so resource intensive, Brandon. And I agree
Exactly.
with you
Think
because,
about that.
Like in a regular year, guess how many people get the flu shot? 4 out of 10.
Wow.
Which means the majority of them don't. Now, of course, this is not the flu, but still, the point is some people just don't believe
Just
in
don't,
vaccinations.
yep.
But you cannot possibly test everybody. The other piece of it is the accuracy of the test.
Okay.
They're not
Different-
100%.
Especially those rapid
different.
ones.
Right,
Yeah,
especially if I get
okay.
exposed today and I get on a plane, guess what? The clock just reset on my
Exactly,
test.
yep.
And then I come here, you know? Whereas
So
if
I
I'm
guess-
vaccinated,
So that in my New York Giants, it's easier to control that. What are we doing?
DBL Nation, let us know if you have any questions for Dr. Coley. We'll see you soon.
Welcome back to DBL. Big news from New York. Governor Andrew Cuomo, he has announced he's resigning a week after that bombshell report by the Attorney General that found he sexually harassed nearly a dozen women. Governor Cuomo denies all the allegations, but here is what he said in his press conference. Let's take a look.
I think that given the circumstances, the best way I can help now is if I step aside and let government get back to governing. And therefore, that's what I'll do. And my resignation will be effective in 14 days.
Interesting. So if you don't know, the current Lieutenant Governor, Kathy Hochul, will be taking over as governor of New York. She will be the first female governor of New York. And eventually there will be, of course, another vote because it's an elected official that needs to be voted in. But what do you guys think?
I was going to ask you, are you surprised that it happened like this? Because it looked like he was going to stay and fight as of yesterday.
Yeah, but I told you weren't here yesterday. I told them, like, every newspaper or any type of tabloid in New York, he is front page, and they were calling him sleazeballs, creepo. It was time for him to go. I mean, once that public image is damaged, there's nothing you can do in terms of being a governor that's going to help yourself. So
yeah, and I would also say that the president saying that you need to resign.
I forgot that part.
Of your own
President tells me I need to step down as my last day.
Yeah, the ego to stay after your president has asked for your resignation is really strong. I will say he left only, in my opinion, he's such a narcissist. He left because he could have been impeached at that point. You leave to become a private citizen and fight in court. He's facing criminal allegations, which means possible jail time. Cuomo has a lot on his hands now.
You don't think
I don't think
jail time?
I don't know what'll happen, but he's up for jail time. A criminal complaint is different than just being sued for money.
Yeah. So do you think this is a big win for the sexual harassment community, the anti-sexual harassment? Because, I mean, he's a powerful guy.
Very, very powerful. And I think to knock him off the pedestal shows where the power is.
Well, it has to be, because you talk about it all the time, that club of, remember you talk about Mad Men all the time, how guys used to just hang around, drink scotch, you know, smoke a cigar, and just, hey, bend over one more time or something, as ludicrous as that says right now, but that's what we were saying. So yeah, it has to be a win now, because what used to be able to go on back then.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of like the last bastion of the kind of, we're seeing the changing of the guard. And there was an era, I mean, no one watches something like Mad Men or even like a comedy like Anchorman and goes, that's totally implausible that an office full of entitled men would be making sexually derogatory comments towards a new female coworker that has, at this point, no power base. HR has not come around yet. Yeah. There is no online advocacy. So now we're in a position now where not only can all these people that have been aggrieved against not only have a voice and a platform, but also can connect with others, and we can put these timelines together. And we're starting to see that this has been a systemic problem for a long time.
And just remember, the one thing that toppled that man, the big bastion of masculinity of New York.
Don't steal my word, bastion.
I'm taking it.
You were not going to say it.
It goes with his jacket.
I am taking it. I will say is women coming together to support each other and face that. That is brave to face that big of a movement, really. So bravo to them. Coming up, we got Kristen and Dax. They are on DBL. I know them first name basis, apparently. They spill the stuff that really gets on each other's nerves. It's good. Stay tuned.
First things first, if you haven't taken a picture of your COVID vaccination card, do it now, front and back. It's one of the best backup plans there is. Even the CDC recommends it. Just don't take a selfie and don't post it online. If it's already too late and you've misplaced or lost that card, you can get another copy. The best place to start is where you got the shot. If that happens to be a pharmacy or store, you can contact them to get a replacement card. Some, like Walmart and CVS, even let you access your information through their apps. If that doesn't work, reach out to the state health department's immunization information system. All vaccine providers have to report to the IIS. You can also contact the IIS directly. Keep in mind it could take a couple of weeks to get that replacement card that way. There are also apps you can download to store a digital copy of your vaccine card, but do your research before you download anything. And that's Connecting the Dots. For Mile High Mornings, I'm Alexandra Lewis.
Welcome back to DBL. We talked to Dax Shepard and Kristen Bell about their new game show, Family Game Fight. There's a lot of pies in the face. It's good. That's today's Chatting with the Stars. America's favorite husband and wife are going head-to-head in a new game show called Family Game Fight. And for hosts Kristen Bell and Dax Shepard, you better believe it is game on. So Kristen and Dax, first and foremost, welcome to DBL. For families, this seems like the ultimate game for payback. That said, what irks you the most about each other? For instance, I cannot handle it when my husband doesn't pick up the toys when watching the kids, and then I walk into what looks like a bomb went off. So what bothers you two about one another?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say you should be bothered that the kids don't pick up the toys in that example. It's not his job. It's not my job.
But they are 16 months.
Well, do they have any motor control?
Yes.
What? Oh, God. I mean, thousands of things.
I think what's maybe even more interesting isn't what bothers us, but what we've become completely numb to, because that's more impressive. Like, I clear my throat in the morning in a manner that I think to myself all the time, if I live with me, I would shoot me. Yeah. And Kristen just seems to not hear it, like it's white noise. That's impressive.
I've blocked it out.
Or Kristen leaves all the cabinet doors open everywhere she goes. She doesn't put lids on her medicine bottles.
Me too.
Well, I'm going to need to get back in there at some point.
She's very against closing things. And I almost don't see it now.
That's what good relationships. That's healthy. Hold on, let me clear my throat. Okay, just kidding. I'm sorry. All right, now I'm sure you guys get this. Thank you. You get this question a lot, but hygiene have been in the news lately. Habits with how celebs bathe their children, and you said that you guys wait for the stink, which I love, which kind of shocked people. We want to know, what is your hygiene schedule, and do you stand by your position with your kids?
First of all, can we just acknowledge how hilarious it is that celebrity kids' hygiene is a thing in the news?
I know.
Like we're in a pandemic, and that's what we're talking about. I mean, I get it; it's interesting. Look, we treat everything as a joke. So, but I will say, it's not so much of a joke that I wait for the stink. That tells you when they need to bathe.
Well, and also we had said, we did bathe them religiously for the first few years when the bedtime routine was so vital. But once that wasn't required to get them to go to sleep, we took our foot off the gas. But I'll just say, for America, Kristen has better hygiene than me.
Excellent.
So I think in general, because Kristen wears makeup more often than I do, she has to take it off. And she has hairspray and she's got to get rid of it. I'm not in that stuff that often. So I only have to when either a smell is present or I'm in that stuff, the accoutrement of acting.
Well, this is the other thing is California has been in a drought forever. So
This is our political movement.
It's also just like responsibility for your environment. We don't have a ton of water.
Yeah.
So when I shower, I'll grab the girls and push them in there with me so we all use the same shower water, and I don't know, it just happens whenever it happens, I guess.
The bottom line is mine could be better.
Well, we certainly appreciate your environmental advocacy, for sure. But people also appreciate how very open and honest America's favorite couple has been about being in therapy. So what is the best relationship advice you've been given?
Boy, I wouldn't even know where to begin because we've been chiseling away at this for 14 years. But I mean, first and foremost, I think they should teach in elementary school how to pose a conversation with someone you care about, like an I message, I think they call it in therapy, which is just when you do X, no judgment. I'm not ascribing intention to it, but when you do X, I feel Y. That simple way of communicating, had they taught us that in elementary, I'd probably still be with my first girlfriend.
And there's so many different, I think the better umbrella to put it under is everyone, this is what we tell our kids, everyone is born with a tiny toolbox, like a Barbie-sized toolbox.
Yeah.
And you need tools to communicate with other humans. So you have to spend your life gathering tools. You'll deal with someone who's an introvert and needs a softer side. You'll deal with someone who's very edgy and needs you to be bolder. And you have to have those tools in your toolbox. So continue your entire life to get the tools, and you get the tools through, advice and therapy and reading books or however you get it. And if you have a big toolbox, life will be easier for you.
I love that. That's really good advice. And now I'm going to go home and get mad at my 16-month-old for not picking up after him. Miles! But no, Kristen, I have to tell you, if I were to meet for instance, when I came to work today, I said, Sophie, I'm going to interview the real Anna. She freaked out. She always wears her Anna outfit. There she is. Speaking of environmentally friendly and sustainable, she wears that outfit every day.
I love that. I love that phase where they're wearing the shredded costumes that are made out of plastic, and you just can't get them out of it.
Well, it sounds like she's fighting back for another cause too, which is the disposable clothing movement.
Yes.
She's not doing it that way. She's going to wear it till it disintegrates.
Sustainability, that's my girl. For all the viewers out there, you have to watch Family Game Fight. We watched it last night.
I like the
hilarious. It's incredible. Make sure you watch it Wednesdays on NBC. We appreciate you both. Keep killing the game. We'll be right back.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Will free lunch be offered to all students this school year? Let's verify. Our sources, the U.S. Department of Agriculture and registered dietitian Erin Falls. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, schools and daycare facilities will continue to serve free meals through June 2022. Schools across the country will be allowed to serve meals through the USDA's National Lunch Program Seamless Summer Operation, which is usually only available during summer months. This makes all students eligible for free lunches. The USDA school program has an emphasis on fruits, veggies, milk, and whole grains, which can make it easier on parents and students, according to Erin Falls.
Research shows that receiving free or reduced price school lunches reduces food insecurity, obesity rates, as well as poor health, right? So we know that all of those three items are huge issues with our nation. And so this really can help with that.
According to the USDA, up to 12 million children are currently living in households where they may not have enough to eat during the pandemic.
School lunch is critical to student health and well-being, especially for low-income students. It ensures that students have nutrition they need throughout the day to learn.
So we can verify that, yes, free lunches will be available to all students this school year. Here in Mecklenburg County, CMS tells us they still encourage students to fill out their free lunch form. They tell us it helps them know the number of people who need it, which helps with funding. And we are continuing to verify your back to school questions. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us by email at verify@wcnc.com or on my social media pages. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments, a lot of them about Cuomo. Cuomo comments, am I right? James Hudson says he shouldn't have resigned. It's called due process. I would just say that the women also have due process in this situation. And Gabrielle Garcia says probably because of the lack of support from his own party.
I think that's one way to put it.
Yeah. I think so. I think Cuomo, though, and I'm being honest with you, is such a big narcissist. And I say that. I know he did a great job during New York and COVID, but he's such an ego. Even that wasn't going to do it. I think the threat of impeachment is what really did it.
But there are a lot of people who thought that he did a terrible job with the whole nursing home death.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, it's time for him. It was time for him to go.
Interesting. Yeah. Let us know what you think. We're here every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Some people who recover from COVID-19 are rejecting the vaccine, but is natural immunity enough to protect them? Let's connect the dots. Health experts warn recovering from COVID-19 is not enough to protect from reinfection. While the antibodies from natural infection do provide some protections, the data shows the vaccines are much better at protecting you. In fact, a study published by the CDC found people with natural immunity were twice as likely to be reinfected than people who were vaccinated after recovering. That's leading doctors to recommend people who recover from COVID still get the shot. There's another issue with natural immunity. People infected with the virus are more likely not to have symptoms. That increases the risk that they'll spread COVID-19 to others, including immune-compromised friends, family, and children. While people fighting coronavirus for the second time do tend to have milder symptoms, that doesn't mean everyone's safe. There are exceptions, and reinfected patients are ending up hospitalized. In fact, one case presented in The Lancet found a 25-year-old man whose second bout with COVID was more severe than the first.
Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
A new rule will require all U.S. military to get the COVID vaccine. DBL Nation, do you agree with the mandate? Christina Applegate reveals she has multiple sclerosis, the early warning signs you need to know. A Jeffrey Epstein accuser is now filing sexual abuse charges against Prince Andrew. Will he come to America to defend himself? And in today's Strong Women series, the inspiring story of a homeless mom who starts a Girl Scout troop in her shelter.
It was just such a beautiful thing to see all the support.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. It is Tuesday, August 10th. We've got some big news about New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, and we're going to get to that in just a bit. But first, along with Jeff and Al, we've got Dr. Coley with us today. Hello, Doc.
Hi, guys.
Perfect opportunity to have you here because a lot of you are talking about this next story. If you've got family or friends in the military, this might affect you. The Secretary of Defense announced that U.S. military members will be required to get the COVID-19 vaccine beginning next month. Officials said the vaccine is necessary to maintain military readiness. But do these mandates really work? A lot of you have already written in. Does this allow people or motivate people to get more, to get vaccinated, especially since a lot of people don't like to be told what to do? Will this backfire? What do you think, Dr. Coley?
So you have to think about mandates within the context. So the science has looked at it and said that top-down or the government telling you what to do works if the issue is not controversial and if the setting is a setting such as the military where people are used to sort of taking orders from the top down. But on the other hand, the bottom-up works better if the issue is more controversial. So when it comes to masks, I really think, you know, a combination of top-down and bottom-up would work best, and just telling people what to do isn't necessarily going to make them do it.
Before you jump in now, people are saying this is absurd, this is a slippery slope. What I'm confused about, because I come from a military family, this isn't anything new. They're required vaccines, whether it's an isolated incident like anthrax in 1998 where they were all mandated, or whether they're traveling overseas. So why the uproar now when this has been part of policy for so long, depending on what's the contagion is?
It's this vaccine. It's COVID, it's politics. I mean, we don't argue about wearing seatbelts. We don't argue about driving drunk. We don't argue about not smoking in public places. But we're so argumentative when it comes to this because this has just become such a polarized issue. That's why if we could take that out and just focus on the science, we could all move on with our lives.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that polarization has even bled over into like my group chats with my friends. And a lot of them, and I'm getting this, I'm getting a lot of this, I think I'm on mute. Jeff, you take this, but just ask her, like, why do people need to wear masks if they're not vaccinated?
Why do people need to wear masks if they're not vaccinated?
You did that really well, Jeff. You might have a career
Okay, there we go. Okay, I think we're good now.
Okay, so let's bottom line this, you guys. Okay, number one, vaccines work. They are highly effective. In fact, one of the most effective vaccines we've ever had at preventing the transmission of this virus, keeping us out of the hospital and keeping us alive. So if we all got vaccinated, as much as I love you guys, I wouldn't be here talking to you about this. But the reason that we're putting the masks back on is to protect the unvaccinated. So you don't have to wear them in every single setting. I'm not wearing one right now because I know everybody sitting here with me is fully vaccinated. So if I had a party in my house with fully vaccinated people, I don't have to wear a mask. But if I'm going into Target or I'm going to the grocery store, I don't know who might be at risk. And I'm wearing the mask to protect them because the vaccine has already protected me.
Do you see how some people could take that as like, why would I protect you when I'm the one who got the vaccine? Why do I need to be protecting you?
That's a good question.
When you're not following the rules, so to speak.
Well, you're exactly right about that, Jeff, but there is some percentage of the population that can't get the vaccine. So our kids are the best example.
So that's why we're doing it. Great.
Exactly. And then there are some others who choose not to, but still we're all in this together. We cannot have the me attitude. It has to be the we attitude.
Do you think we're ever going to beat this? We're ever going to get to a point of herd immunity and we can finally get back to normalcy?
So, you know, I want to move away from talking about herd immunity because with the new Delta variant, herd immunity may not exist because herd immunity by definition means that once I get the vaccine, I can't spread it. And that's not the case with the Delta variant. But we are definitely going to get over this. This virus, in my mind, is going to become something like the flu, like a cold, something that we live alongside. It's endemic instead of being a pandemic.
All right. Well, two takeaways that stuck out to me: vaccines work, and mask up when you're not aware of what someone's vaccine status is.
You got it.
All right, let's get to another big controversy going on right now. Two of the hardest hit states with this new Delta surge are Florida and Texas. The governors of those states have banned mask mandates, including in schools. But several school districts are going against those orders, including Dallas, Austin, and Tallahassee. Then yesterday, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis threatened to withhold pay from school officials in retaliation. All right, so Dr. Coley, again, let's put politics aside. We all want our children to be safe. So from a medical perspective, what should our children be doing going into school this fall?
Every single child should be wearing a mask because there's so much Delta in our community, and our children, most of them under the age of 12, are not protected. So Sam, I want you to be the vaccines. Allie, you're going to be the masks, and Jeff, you're going to be keeping kids out of school. Okay, those are the three breaks that we have on this virus: vaccines, masks, and keeping kids out of school. Kids under 12 can't get the vaccine, so Sam, you're out. Jeff, it would be unthinkable to keep kids out of school for another year, so you're out. So what is the only mitigation measure that we really have for this susceptible population?
Yeah. Coming through for DBL Nation once again. Y'all welcome ahead of time. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sending kids back. Yeah, obviously my youngest is going back to school for the first time at 7. He can't be vaccinated, so this is hitting home for me.
Yeah.
Dak, I want to talk about kids wearing masks. Is this detrimental to them in any way, like growing up, or is this going to stunt them in any way socially?
You know, we talked a lot about that last year because that was our big fear. But we now have science to support that it really doesn't seem to have an impact on how kids recognize other people's faces. So this is a study that came out of University of Parma, that even if we're half covered, we can tell if somebody's mad, if somebody's happy, if somebody's angry. So that's really not an issue. In terms of the tolerability and the ability of kids to tolerate the mask, I think if you put a nice cloth mask on a child, they can probably wear it all day. And Al and I were joking a few minutes ago that if you're in middle school, it covers up your acne too. So
that would have helped. Yeah, great.
To me, I had the horrible acne.
Not good for Proactive, but yeah. Anybody else?
Proactive?
Those infomercials got me. I was like, look, 30 days.
An acne statin, did you use that one?
No, that one seemed scary.
For me, it was the braces. I wanted to cover up my braces all the time.
I have to say, too, kids are so resilient. I think it's how you present it. And Jeff, you always talk about being positive, and how you shape someone's mindset is going to affect them later on. So I say to Sophie, listen, put on your mask. It's like a costume. She gets excited about it. I don't instill the fear in her, so to speak.
Right. Yeah, no, you're exactly right. I kind of want to go back to the story a little bit and make Dr. Coley part of this panel. I don't understand where the incentive is to send out stimulus checks and put people on unemployment, and then at the same time, you're telling people not to come to work unless you get that vaccine. Do you see where that collide may come in sometimes as a society?
Well, you're saying that we shouldn't be incentivizing people to get the vaccine?
Well, I think you definitely should. But if I could stay home and get a government check, right, and not be yelled at or fired from my job, just sit home and collect unemployment, or I could choose, listen, I want to stimulate the economy myself and go back to work, but I don't want to get vaccinated. That's where the rub is in America. Do you see what I'm saying?
Runs out, though. Unemployment runs out, and I think a lot of people do
But the
want to
stimulus
work.
checks are still coming. Unemployment's still coming.
So do you guys know
what's the incentive? I'm saying if you want to go back to work, but you don't want that vaccine. Am I making sense at all or no?
I get you wanting to go back to work, but and Dr. Coley, I'll defer to you. I would think your office would be like, I don't care what you want. We want to stay open. We want the lights on. And if we have an outbreak here, we can't have that. So I think that's why they want you to come back to work, but come back safe.
All right. I feel like nobody wants to talk about this. So.
I do. I think we got to move on. But yeah,
all right,
I'm like super into that.
Move on. Yeah. Sorry.
All right, so you may have heard this. I actually found this out this morning. I love her, Christina Applegate, who is 49. She revealed on Twitter that she was diagnosed with MS a few months ago. Christina tweeted, quote, "It's been a strange journey, but I've been so supported by people that I know who also have this condition. It's been a tough road, but as we all know, the road keeps going unless some bleep blocks it." And then she also went on to say that she would, she's requesting privacy from this point forward. But Dr. Coley, a lot of people don't know the symptoms of MS, what it exactly, how it affects the body. Can you elaborate a little bit about what Christina might be dealing with?
Yeah, this broke my heart.
I know.
I watched Married with Children growing up. But, you know, I have to say that it's a chronic illness, but it's something that you can really bounce back from. So essentially what it is this autoimmune condition where the body attacks the central nervous system, which is the brain and the spinal cord. So it attacks the lining around the nerves. So you can present with a whole bunch of neurological symptoms. I had a friend in medical school who woke up one day with a blurry eye, and she had MS.
So it can hit at any age?
Any age.
How do you know to go to the doctor and say, is this MS? Can it get misdiagnosed?
It absolutely can, and I would say any funny neurological symptoms. So your eyes, your fingers are tingling, you have a funny weakness somewhere, you have loss of bladder control, you have sexual dysfunction, you have memory problems, you have balance problems, anything that triggers to you, hey, it seems like the brain or the spinal cord may not be working correctly. Very low threshold to go and get checked out. Women are higher risk for contracting MS, but men can have it as well.
So maybe just give, because we have a lot of people that take care of people watching us right now. Can you give us, anybody watching us that's taking care of somebody with MS, like a ray of hope that it is, not curable, but manageable?
Very much so, Al. And really, MS is called a relapsing remitting disease, meaning it goes like this. So you have bad days, you have bad weeks, you have flare-ups. But really, with modern medicine, we have been able to control it very well so that we can also give medicines that prevent disease progression. So it's not a death sentence by any means.
That's good to hear. And we are wishing her all our best. We know that she's absolutely going to tackle this like she's done everything else in her life. Our thoughts are with you, Christina. Coming up on DBL, Andrew Cuomo resigns as governor of New York, what he said about leaving his post amid the sexual harassment allegations. Plus, Prince Andrew is facing sexual abuse charges now in the U.S. Will he come to America to try and defend himself?
No.
Okay. And Nick Cannon gets real about having kids with multiple women. Is monogamy a thing of the past?
Yes.
No. Closed captioning provided by
Jeff, you were talking a lot about workplace. So explain yourself during the break about the workplace.
Well, I took it into a conversation rather than utilizing the doc here. So I took it to. My thing is that people are
out of the realm of medical.
Yes, I did, and I shouldn't have done that. but I guess, yeah. I just want to have a deeper conversation about the workplace, about us stimulating our economy, but then at the same time, you're not allowed to go back to work if you're not vaccinated. I think everyone should be vaccinated for the record, but it's weird to incentivize people, but then also to take their job away. I think the more the incentive on this whole thing is to stay home. Why wouldn't I collect an unemployment check? Or why wouldn't I say, I don't want the vaccine, and now I can't go to work, and now I have to collect unemployment?
You can't get unemployment if you're fired or let go for not getting the vaccine, because that's a violation of the company's policy.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, really?
Yes.
See, that's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah. So you won't be eligible for unemployment because you violated the company's policy. So anything.
Is that true in every state?
Only if the company mandates, yes. But if the company mandates that you get a vaccine and
then you choose not to, you do not get unemployment?
Violated their
I think that's an interesting topic, right? To talk about.
I wonder, is there anything else that a company has already in
place? My point is, if I could say, hey, I totally want to come back to work, but I don't want the vaccine, so just pay me unemployment. That I didn't know that you could not get unemployment for that.
Yeah, and also unemployment doesn't go in perpetuity. I think it just goes. It may be like a year at the most.
But isn't that a great excuse to keep saying, I still don't want the vaccine? Now we're talking about something that doesn't exist.
Right.
Do you see where I was going with that?
I mean, people that don't want to work, Jeff, they're not going to work. They're going to find a fender bender, car accident, frivolous lawsuit. But I think for the most part, you think about like the people in your life, the people in my life, most people like want to get out. Some people like to use their hands. Some people like to be social at work. So I think most people will try and figure out a way to get back to work because it is stable. You're not depending on the government. So, but you are right. Some people are going to try and find a way to.
Or insurance.
Oh.
Here we go.
Welcome back to DBL. Tori is here.
Hey.
Expected that.
That was the exact welcome.
Tori, I'm happy you're here.
Thank you, Al.
You guys actually look good matching purples.
We do.
Yeah.
Professor Plums, huh?
There we go.
There you go.
Hmm.
Okay. I'm going to let you sit in it. All right, let's get right to this because this is quite the hot topic today. Big news from New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. He announced he is indeed resigning a week after that bombshell report by the Attorney General that found he sexually harassed nearly a dozen women. Governor Cuomo denies all the allegations, but here is what he said in his press conference.
I think that given the circumstances, the best way I can help now is if I step aside and let government get back to governing. And therefore, that's what I'll do. And my resignation will be effective in 14 days.
Wow. Well, what do you think, Tori?
It was going to happen whether he wanted to or not because he could have gotten impeached. You either take the win, you take the loss that way, or you resign. He was not going to be let go of this. This is going to continue. Now he's facing criminal charges, and he doesn't want to be a sitting federal official while facing criminal charges. So he's looking at law firms now. He's going to lawyer up, and you probably won't hear from him for a long time until the trial. He's going to shut up if his lawyers can tell him to do the right thing.
So he's not taking another position. He's stepping down completely.
Completely.
Right.
Now, also, just so you know, current Lieutenant Governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, will replace him. She's the first woman governor ever of New York and is well liked and will be replacing him as in the next 2 weeks, for the next 2 weeks.
And can she can run now for actual governor the next time is
correct, because
okay.
It's temporary, and then they will have to elect again because it's an elected official position, so you can't just appoint someone. So she's there to fill the hole, so you say, and then there will be a vote at some point.
Wow, I wonder if he's going to face criminal.
He is.
Meaning, is he going to, do you think, end up behind bars?
He might. Cuomo has rubbed a lot of people, and I don't mean this.
Behind bars, though.
I'm
honestly,
telling you, Cuomo has really irked a lot of people.
What politician has ended up behind bars?
None.
Right, and I'm sick and tired of them not being able to face, the full extent of the law.
Amen.
If any of us face criminal charges, good luck. I'd be behind bars in a,
You'd be doing one of the segments we do. Yeah, it's really
rightfully.
Yeah, exactly. It's really interesting that politicians, they don't really face, even like somebody like Roy Moore. I don't know if you remember him a couple years
Alabama.
ago. But he was, I don't think it's going on a limb, but saying he was not a good dude, and that was documented. And it was he still ran. I think he only lost by like a half of a percentage point.
But politicians are wealthy enough to run. They're wealthy enough to get good defense lawyers. And that is the difference. There's two justice systems, the rich and the not rich. And you can get away if you have good enough lawyers. That's what it is.
There's nothing in the middle for me.
There's a food truck outside.
That's right. Can I get that? All right, lawyer.
Coming up on DBL, a Jeffrey Epstein accuser is filing sexual abuse charges against Prince Andrew. Will he come to America to defend himself?
First things first, if you haven't taken a picture of your COVID vaccination card, do it now, front and back. It's one of the best backup plans there is. Even the CDC recommends it. Just don't take a selfie and don't post it online. If it's already too late and you've misplaced or lost that card, you can get another copy. The best place to start is where you got the shot. If that happens to be a pharmacy or store, you can contact them to get a replacement card. Some, like Walmart and CVS, even let you access your information through their apps. If that doesn't work, reach out to the state health department's immunization information system. All vaccine providers have to report to the IIS. You can also contact the IIS directly. Keep in mind it could take a couple of weeks to get that replacement card that way. There are also apps you can download to store a digital copy of your vaccine card, but do your research before you download anything. And that's Connecting the Dots. For Mile High Mornings, I'm Alexandra Lewis.
Welcome back to DBL. A big royal family shakeup. Prince Andrew is being sued in U.S. federal civil court by one of his longtime accusers. Virginia Roberts Giuffre claims the prince sexually abused her on several occasions when she was just 17. The lawsuit goes on to claim that she was a victim of sex trafficking by Jeffrey Epstein and his co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell. In a BBC interview, or Ghislaine, thank you. In a BBC interview back in 2019, the prince denied ever even meeting Virginia. But look at this photo of them together, allegedly taken at Ghislaine's house a decade ago. Watch.
I don't remember meeting her at all. I do not remember a photograph being taken. And I've said consistently and frequently that we never had any sort of sexual contact whatever.
Wow. So because this is a civil case, the prince can't be forced to appear in court, but he could still be found guilty and be required to pay damages even if he doesn't show up. Oh my gosh. I mean, here we go again. We were just talking about politicians not being held accountable. The same can be applied to the royal family. Yes, these are just allegations, but why did you lie that you have never had met her?
Yeah, we were just talking while we were watching that Prince Andrew interview, and that has to go down as one of the worst, Jeff was saying, the worst interviews of all time.
Like, it's almost an adjective, like, oh man, I pulled a Prince Andrew.
Right.
Literally.
He backfired
bring light to
so
it.
bad.
Yeah, it was the worst interview probably I've ever seen.
Absolutely. He said he couldn't sweat because of a problem in the Falkland Islands, so it wasn't him. I mean, it was awful. I will say this, Cuomo signed into law the New York State's Child Victims Act in 2019, and that is the reason she is allowed to bring this lawsuit up for a year.
Great.
She was missed the statute of limitations. She's getting it, and she wants to be paid back for the emotional and suffering that she said she went down. He can't be compelled to come to America. He won't be, but they can get his phone records. They can find discovery, and they can have him pay. That's the best they can do.
But I think the important point here is it's civil. It's all about money.
Correct. He's not
going to serve any jail time. Right. There's a lot of people that probably should. This story keeps going underwater and then resurfaces again. I want somebody to roll over. I want them to get a big fish, them start throwing names out there, and then you don't think it's going to happen?
That ain't going to happen.
I feel like it
Did
might.
you see how Mr. Epstein passed away?
I'm telling you,
that was the most. You talk about that interview being nonsense. How he was able to kill himself under the watchful eye of two guards. Excuse me, in quotes. So there's a lot going on here, and it won't surface because I think the names involved are so big that it can't. Talk about too big to fail. They've given Prince Andrew almost as a sacrificial lamb. I think there's a lot bigger people.
But Ghislaine goes up takes the stand in November, and she's got the keys.
Do you think that Ghislaine will definitely cough up some names?
It depends what they're given to her, what her sentence will be, as opposed to we'll give you immunity if you give it. I don't know. This is my biggest. This is all a conspiracy. I want to put out there.
I don't think so. I think you're onto something. There's something going on here, and I've
cracked the case.
Yes, we did it.
No. I have to finish the show, but everybody, you could call me after.
Okay, good. We're good.
Coming up on DBL. A Girl Scout troop that's inspiring the world, how a single mom made it her mission to mentor a group of young ladies in her own homeless shelter.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Will free lunch be offered to all students this school year? Let's verify. Our sources, the U.S. Department of Agriculture and registered dietitian Aaron Falls. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, schools and daycare facilities will continue to serve free meals through June 2022. Schools across the country will be allowed to serve meals through the USDA's National Lunch Program's Seamless Summer Operation, which is usually only available during summer months. This makes all students eligible for free lunches. The USDA school program has an emphasis on fruits, veggies, milk, and whole grains, which can make it easier on parents and students, according to Aaron Falls.
Research shows that receiving free or reduced price school lunches reduces food insecurity, obesity rates, as well as poor health, right? So we know that all of those three items are huge issues with our nation. And so this really can help with that.
According to the USDA, up to 12 million children are currently living in households where they may not have enough to eat during the pandemic.
School lunch is critical to student health and well-being, especially for low-income students. It ensures that students have nutrition they need throughout the day to learn.
So we can verify that, yes, free lunches will be available to all students this school year.
Here in Mecklenburg County, CMS tells us they still encourage students to fill out their free lunch form. They tell us it helps them know the number of people who need it, which helps with funding. And we are continuing to verify your back to school questions. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us by email at verify@wcnc.com or on my social media pages. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments. Tori?
A lot of people wrote about Christina Applegate, and I think that's so interesting because MS really is relatable. It hits a lot of families. So Jessica wrote in, wishing Christina Applegate the best. My aunt has MS, and I know the toll it can take. If you're a caregiver out there, it's also, we wish you the best too.
It's hard to be a caregiver.
It really is.
If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show on Facebook or YouTube, chat with other viewers, leave your comments, and be a part of our DBL Nation. But if you are sticking around, here's what's coming up. Nicole Kidman reveals what husband Keith Urban really thinks about her sex scenes. Does he get jealous? And Nick Cannon catches a lot of flack over his decision to have kids with multiple women. Why he says people need to get over it.
recover from COVID-19 are rejecting the vaccine, but is natural immunity enough to protect them? Let's connect the dots. Health experts warn recovering from COVID-19 is not enough to protect from reinfection. While the antibodies from natural infection do provide some protections, the data shows the vaccines are much better at protecting you. In fact, a study published by the CDC found people with natural immunity were twice as likely to be reinfected than people who were vaccinated after recovering. That's leading doctors to recommend people who recover from COVID still get the shot. There's another issue with natural immunity. People infected with the virus are more likely not to have symptoms. That increases the risk that they'll spread COVID-19 to others, including immune-compromised friends, family, and children. While people fighting coronavirus for the second time do tend to have milder symptoms, that doesn't mean everyone's safe. There are exceptions, and reinfected patients are ending up hospitalized. In fact, one case presented in The Lancet found a 25-year-old man whose second bout with COVID was more severe than the first.
is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with Al, Jeff, and Tori. Let's get to it.
They just heard with his thing. That's all that was said.
You have no idea what
It was taken way out of context for people at home.
Yes, okay. All right, let's get to Nick Cannon because he is sharing his thoughts on marriage and monogamy. He recently appeared on the Breakfast Club radio show where host Charlemagne the God asked him about having 4 kids with 3 different women. Nick responded by saying that the idea of marriage or just being with one person is an outdated concept. Watch.
I understand the institution of marriage and stuff, but if we go back to what that was about, that was the classified property. That was because a father gave another man his daughter for land. So when you really get to that concept, it's like, all right, well, we got to change all of this up because I don't want ownership over anybody. I don't have ownership of any of the mothers or like we create families in that sense of we created a beautiful entity.
What do you think, Al?
I think he's right and wrong at the same time. I do agree that, back in the day, marriage was used, in terms of for literally in exchange. Sometimes there would be sheep along with the dog, like literally things like that. But now when we talk about marriage and families, there is a stability that goes with that as well. And when you start talking about the next generation having a stable situation where the dad is around, because we do see all these shows on TLC about polygamy where there's 18 kids. Everybody's like, that's so great. But I always go, does the dad know anything about those 18 kids?
Right.
What scares them? What motivates them? What really is going on with these kids rather than just clothing and feeding? Because it's bigger than that, Jeff. So I think the more people we have involved, the less the kids can get lost in the shuffle.
Right, and we're just taking Nick Cannon's point of view here, right? We're not talking to any of the mothers.
Right.
Maybe
Good
they
point.
wanted a relationship.
Good point.
If they're both on board saying, hey, it's okay if I'm not making a joke. If you want to impregnate me, I'll raise our kid together. I'm totally cool with that. And if you're cool with that, then I'm cool with the whole situation. But if Nick Cannon's getting all these women pregnant and none of them want him to move on, they want a father figure in the home, not just send a check every month or whatever. And I'm not, again, throwing stones at Nick Cannon. Then that doesn't work. But everyone has to be on the same page.
Yeah, as long as his boundaries were open, wide open, I have 0 problems with this. I think monogamy is not like concrete. I think it's more like water. I think partnerships, marriages, relationships, all are changing rapidly. It's flexible. You see in the Netherlands, people aren't getting married anymore. They're just becoming partners. That's a different aspect to it psychologically. So to me, whatever you want to do, if you have the boundaries open and you're communicating, go for it.
Well, then I agree with all of you, but then legislation has to change because, you can't go visit your loved one in the hospital if you're just a partner. That's why the LGBTQ community fights so hard to get the same rights as you and I, being in a heterosexual relationship. So I think it's really important, yes, to each its own, just as long as he is speaking very clearly, this is what my intent is. And I can only imagine he is. If he's that forthright on this radio show, I would only hope, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, he's that forthright in his relationship. So good, no problem for it. But
I know we got to move on, but there's somebody's got to stand up for marriage as well. Like there's there's an economic and just a stability that kids do need. Nick Cannon's in a different situation, but if you do have parents that are kind of floating in between people, your living situation, literally where you live, how you live, changing, that fluctuation is not great for kids and not great for a relationship.
I'm all for it. That is the total opposite of what I'm looking for.
Right.
I'm all for monogamy.
But some people are into it, clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, Al. That's very important. And I would even argue really quickly, some people do mate for life.
Yeah.
It's not only in the human species, penguins mate for life.
We've all seen March of the Penguins.
Want to remind you.
Sam got a higher education.
Right. Got to sneak
March of the Penguins
into this conversation.
I didn't see March of the Penguins.
You didn't?
Nope.
Well, it's phenomenal.
I'm afraid that an orca grabs one of us.
I think you're good. Right?
I'm pretty sure one of the penguins will die.
You know what you just did? You just pulled that's double jeopardy.
No, I'm pretty sure one of the penguins died.
They're all dead by now. They made that 10 years ago.
All right, I don't want to watch it.
You just breezed over my double jeopardy joke.
What's double jeopardy?
You know how everyone pretends they know? They're like, you can't be charged twice. It's called double jeopardy. It's like, we've all seen the movie. You did not go to law school. We've all seen the movie. That's what you just pulled right there.
Yeah, okay. I did not see it, though. All right. I think you did.
You want to tell the audience other things that you haven't seen?
Can we move on?
I don't like watching the animals die. Okay. Whew. Speaking of marriage. Okay, good transition after all of that. Speaking of marriage, Nicole Kidman says her husband, Keith Urban, isn't bothered by her on-screen sex scenes. Really? Speaking to E! News Daily Pop, Nicole said Keith doesn't really pay much attention to what happens while she's on set. Watch.
My husband is an artist, so he understands all of it. And he also does not get involved in any of he sees the show at the very end when it's a show all edited together and he's fresh eyes. He doesn't read any script. He really doesn't know what's going on the set.
She does not age. Does not age. But going back to her career and she commits to her sexy scenes. Let me tell you.
There's a lot of them.
Woo, she
What
commits.
does that mean?
There's a lot of them, and he definitely cares.
You do think so?
Yes, for sure. That's a good relationship. You give the answer that you think is right. Oh, of course, Jordan doesn't care what I do. They care. If you get home, you care. I don't want to watch a movie with my wife with Jordan and be like, hey, you didn't see this yet? Okay, because there's some intimate scenes she does, and I don't want to be laying there with my partner while they're getting it on.
But don't you
and
really?
moaning.
You don't have any part of the craft that she disappears into that role.
Yeah,
That's her
right.
job.
Get real.
That's
That's
her
my main
Are you kidding
concern.
me?
I don't want her
She's
to
an Academy
disappear
Award
into the role.
nominee. She gets so deeply into it.
She
Sex
does.
is part of the role. Big Little Lies. That was an important part of her character. That violence with the sex. If they didn't have that, you don't
no
have that
one's
kind
saying
of a
you don't have
character.
to have it.
And
like
who are you
she can.
screaming at?
Sorry.
She get very passionate.
I'm so sorry.
No one's saying that she shouldn't be doing her craft, and she does it very well. And clearly they
Get
have.
real with that artist crap.
But I agree with Jeff that there has to be. I'm not saying that they don't have this like agreement, like okay, you do you, that's fine, but. Internally, something's got to irk him. It would irk me.
I mean, we're talking about logic versus emotion. It's just like, let's take sex out of it. Let's just say that Jordan was a UFC fighter. I don't think you'd want to see that either. You would support her all the way and through training. I don't want to see somebody knee my girl in the face. You know, I don't want to see...
Sexual or not.
Sexual, yeah, exactly. Depends, again, we're open to everything here. But it's like when you love somebody and you have a connection with somebody, you might not want to see them in a very... Fighting is as intimate
You're
as
both
well.
really mature, and she feels comfortable what he does on tour. He feels comfortable with what she does. And remember, she was married to Tom Cruise and had a very controlling marriage. I don't think she'd feel comfortable with someone who's a bit controlling. She broke free from that. And I think she didn't seem to me to be masking something.
And that's your house, right? That's cool in your house. In my
I didn't say it was cool in my house. I was in there.
I'm just saying, like we're talking about Nick Cannon, what's cool in his house might not be cool in my house. I'm about monogamy. I'm all for artistry, and if my wife wants to do something like that, not every. I feel like every show I see a scene with Nicole Kidman having sex.
Does every movie have to have so much sex in TV
If you just close the door and you walk in there, you know what happens.
Are you right? What are you,
You don't need to be
81?
here all
You
the
sound like
time.
a nun right now.
Okay,
Sex sells.
I'm not going to lay in my bed and listen to my wife pant
weird.
over some other guy.
And it's weird when your kids are in the next room.
But that's all about...
Move their room over down the hallway.
Oh, yeah, let me go
How
buy a
loud is your
bigger
television? No, Sam.
Hey, Al, my kids are
adults are allowed
stone's throw
to
away.
view sexual things when you're an adult. You don't make it around the kids.
I don't mind having like, okay, I'm going to watch a very sexy.
Sex life.
Very sexy sex
movie.
life.
We got it.
But when I'm just casually watching a TV show, I feel like every other scene sometimes is a raunchy sex.
It gets eyeballs, that's why. What? I try to say one thing at
You
the
sound
end.
like a director from the 70s. All right, it sells.
In a picture room.
Here's your ashtray.
All right, Tom Hanks' son, Chet, is encouraging his followers not to get the COVID-19 vaccine. He recently posted a video on Instagram where at first he seemed to be all in for getting the shot, but just watch.
I suggest to all my followers, you guys set an appointment and get the vaccine first thing. Psych! If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I never had COVID. You ain't sticking me with that needle.
He seems perfectly fine.
Wow. His parents, Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson, were one of the first high-profile celebs to contract the virus. You remember, they even donated their plasma to help with COVID-19 research. What do you think about his rant, Jeff?
I think he wants attention, sadly. You know, I don't think he's really. And if you take this as knowledge, like you won't listen to a doctor, but you listen to Chet Hanks, is why the reason you did not get the COVID-19 shot. Naturals
selection.
Nature will take
I was
its
going to say, I
course.
think if you listen to Chet Hanks, something happened to you years ago. Like, no,
I never even heard of him until he started making these outrageous videos.
Remember he
did
had that
the
video?
reggae
Yeah,
videos.
for Adele.
He speaks, yeah, Jamaican patois, does rapping. He's very like provocateur. I know what you mean. I never heard of him until
He's
then.
desperate for attention because he's jealous of his parents.
He's a troll.
This smacked of privilege in the fact that his parents could get the best care. He knows if he was to contract COVID, he would get literally the best care possible. And so he's just like, yeah, you guys don't do that either. They're not talking to people that might not have any health insurance, that might not have any cushion to lose their job. So it's privilege, but he's such a goofball. You can't even.
Well, let me
get
ask you guys.
mad.
You guys are parents. If you were Tom Hanks, I don't have kids. You're Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson, and you're watching your child do that. What do you do?
It's artistry.
Oh, please.
That was your excuse.
No, he's not an artist. He's a troll, like Sam
I would
said.
be super
I'd be disappointed. I'm joking. I'd be disappointed.
I would also try to get him to have like a full-length conversation with Dr. Coley and say whatever concerns that you have, please.
Sam, he's like 34. You're not getting through at this point.
That's not true.
They had a chance to nip that in the bud when he was acting like a goofball. I almost said something else. At 8 or 9, they didn't. Remember, he was doing weird stuff on the red carpet a couple years ago where he was rapping or something on the red carpet.
Jamaican stuff. Why was he on the red carpet?
Because his dad is the most famous actor in the world, Sam. And so, you know, he's been allowed to do this forever.
Right, there's no.
And so, like at 34, I don't know, is it too late? Do you just let your failed son go?
Super embarrassing.
No, you do not let your failed son go. You keep chipping at him.
At 50, he's going to round the corner.
Math doesn't work out. First of all, 34 is just a shot in the dark.
Yeah, I have no
a couple
idea.
years ago, he was 8 or 9.
I'm saying he was probably acting like a jerk early, and they did nothing, and now he's
You
grown.
don't know that they did nothing. He could have been a lone sheep. Okay. Coming up.
Yeah, exactly.
I meant to say the black sheep. Right? The lone sheep's different than the black sheep.
The lone wolf and the black sheep.
Okay. Coming up on DBL. Are you addicted to your phone? A new survey reveals the number of people who can't skip screen time. And a single mom starts a Girl Scout troop in her own homeless shelter. Why this group is much more than badges and cookies.
Closed captioning provided by
Hey guys, I just wanted to say we're about to do a segment in which we talk about our phone usage, and you're about to hear some stuff coming from me that's not going to be good. I think you're going to be surprised. I think something.
What's that?
We're doing a segment next about our phone usage, and I think you're going to see something really embarrassing about me in that, because we're going to show each of our screen
I think they
times.
could put it together. You're on your phone too much? That's
Yeah,
what you're saying.
but my question to you out there is, don't you use your phone for books? I watch The Sopranos because I just started The Sopranos on
Watch
it.
DBL.
You watch DBL, of course you're watching DBL.
And by the way, screen time doesn't mean your phone, it means your iPad, your
Anything,
television,
right.
any screen that
So
you look
I'm
at.
gonna look really bad in about 5 minutes, but I think it's because I use this as like a control center.
I could take, well, I will, so here's my
Stay
argument.
tuned.
I don't go, my phone is not a crutch for me, but I do enjoy television. I like watching my shows. I like to go to bed watching television.
Yeah.
So that counts as screen time.
It
So
does?
if you like, yeah, all,
You mean if you're streaming stuff?
no, screen is a screen.
No, but on your phone they added up your screen time, literally, the 2
I know,
hour
but
minutes.
you could do that on your phone, but the story that we're doing is screen time in general.
Oh, okay, cool.
If we did a phone story, how much you're on your phone and Instagram, you'd be shamed.
He doesn't seem like he's hurting us for anything.
That's right. That's a good. Someone's gonna click that and do a nice meme.
By the way, I just started The Sopranos, never seen it before, and so much of what you say comes from Tony Soprano when he's like, what do you want, you wackadoo? What are you, bananas? I'm like, oh my God, that's Jeff Schroeder.
It's super stereotypical.
That's what you say, you call me bananas constantly.
Wackadoo?
You call me wackadoo
Should I
too.
binge watch The
Ew.
Sopranos?
I know. I just got my thing out.
Gross. Ugh. We hate each other here.
Welcome back to DBL. 2 million. That's how many American kids will face a period of homelessness this year. It is a staggering and heartbreaking number that Giselle Burgess and her young family know firsthand. That's today's Strong Women story.
She's a single mom with 5 little mouths to feed.
I am a very ambitious person, and so I like to take on more than I can handle at times.
Life is busy. Between the school drop-offs, her office job, and volunteering at her daughter's Girl Scout troop.
The girls really wanted to join because their friends were in the troop. At first, it took me a while. I was really skeptical, like, I don't know if I have time to do this. But then them just always on top of me. Somehow I was tricked into becoming a troop leader.
Their lives are routine and safe until it's all ripped out from underneath them.
My landlord is deciding to sell the house that we were living in, and so trying to find a new apartment became our new struggle of where are we going to live? Where are we going to go to next?
They seek refuge in a New York City homeless shelter.
And then as a parent, you have to uphold this certain way and letting your kids know, like, you know, everything's fine. But on the inside, I'm literally screaming and crying, like, what am I going to do?
Giselle and her kids struggle to find normalcy.
I am the eldest, and I feel like I had to put a brave face on. So I feel like it was my responsibility to try to bring everyone's mood up and, you know, let them know that we're gonna get through this.
Show them the way, girls, show them the way. Looking to build a community for her family, Giselle decides to start a Girl Scout troop at the shelter.
There's so many rules and regulations when you move into the shelter system. I get that it's for security purposes, but we still have children, right? We still have children in the situation that need to see that there's hope.
Giselle founds Troop 6000,
which is the first homeless Girl Scout troop right here in New York City.
All of its members are girls from the shelter.
Immediately, we clicked. We all builded a sisterhood based off of our experiences, and I have never met girls like them before.
Each girl learns courage, confidence, and character.
We got our first group of girls, and they had such a great time and went back to their parents so excited. And next thing you know, we just started growing.
Today, Troop 6000 consists of more than 20 homeless shelters across New York, creating a sisterhood unlike any other.
And it was just such a beautiful thing to see all the support that our girls got and how incredible our city is when it comes to building community and enforcing it.
Giselle and her family moved out of the shelter in 2018, and their remarkable story has inspired a book written by Nikita Stewart of the New York Times. Aww. Troop 6000, the Girl Scout troop that began in a shelter and inspired the world, is available now on Amazon. Coming up on DBL, could you go a full day without any screen time? A new survey reveals how many people just can't live without it.
We all know that.
First things first, if you haven't taken a picture of your COVID vaccination card, do it now, front and back. It's one of the best backup plans there is. Even the CDC recommends it. Just don't take a selfie and don't post it online. If it's already too late and you've misplaced or lost that card, you can get another copy. The best place to start is where you got the shot. If that happens to be a pharmacy or store, you can contact them to get a replacement card. Some, like Walmart and CVS, even let you access your information through their apps. If that doesn't work, reach out to the state health department's immunization information system. All vaccine providers have to report to the IIS. You can also contact the IIS directly. Keep in mind, it could take a couple of weeks to get that replacement card that way. There are also apps you can download to store a digital copy of your vaccine card, but do your research before you download anything. And that's Connecting the Dots. For Mile High Mornings, I'm Alexandra Lewis.
Welcome back to DBL. When was the last time you went a full day without looking at your phone? Be honest. You'd never believe this, but 73% of adults find it very difficult to go an entire day without looking at a screen. That includes computers, tablets, TVs, and phones. But before we discuss this, out of the group, who spends the most time on their phone? We do not know, but we did talk to producers about our individual screen time. We showed them on our phones, so we can't lie. Drum roll, please. The host who is the most glued to their phone is, at 9 hours and 19 minutes, Tori.
No,
Wait,
Al.
Al. Oh my gosh.
There is an asterisk there.
Whoa.
Yes, I was home last week, and my youngest Ford has my phone all the time downloading things. That's not me. I'm far from that, but that's why that's that.
Hey, denial.
Super guilty.
That's the first sign, buddy. That's the first sign.
Tori wasn't far behind you, though.
No.
Tori's at 8 hours and 21 minutes a day.
What are you doing on there?
To be honest, I do podcasts, I read books, and I watch Netflix all on my phone. I'm almost always with it. If I'm gardening, I'm podcasting. If I'm reading, I'm cross-stitching. So I do feel bad about that, but I think this is my recreational center, a rec center.
Your life sounds sad.
I spend 5 hours and 2 minutes on average, and then Jeff spends the least time on his phone at 4 hours and 1 minute.
Jeff's my hero.
Yeah, but now this does encompass not just social media. It can be if you're on a phone call talking to your friends. It could be you're watching something on Netflix. We have our morning call every morning. It could be anything that it has to do with your phone. So I wonder if Pandora's on there. Because I'm listening to Pandora like all afternoon. Because I really do not go use my phone when I'm home, except for Pandora. So I'm interested in that.
Welcome to 2016.
What?
Pandora.
Can we go to Napster?
What's the alternative?
Spotify?
Oh, my husband uses Spotify.
Okay, well.
I already have Pandora on my phone. I'm not going to download another app. I try not to be on my phone.
Okay, well, clearly
Mr.
it's
9
been
hours
2016.
a day. 9
That's
hours
baby
a
Ford.
day.
You're yelling at my baby son. Yeah, no, I really just, I like to look at sports and call you and talk about sports. So that's where I do most of my.
Sports is the #1 reason why people use their phones.
Yeah, that's it. You know I'm a junkie with that.
Sports.
I love sports.
What's really happening with that phone?
I do editing too.
Okay, we'll be right back. Yes.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Will free lunch be offered to all students this school year? Let's verify. Our sources, the U.S. Department of Agriculture and registered dietitian Aaron Falls. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, schools and daycare facilities will continue to serve free meals through June 2022. Schools across the country will be allowed to serve meals through the USDA's National Lunch Program's Seamless Summer Operation, which is usually only available during summer months. This makes all students eligible for free lunches. The USDA school program has an emphasis on fruits, veggies, milk, and whole grains, which can make it easier on parents and students, according to Aaron Falls.
Research shows that receiving free or reduced price school lunches reduces food insecurity, obesity rates, as well as poor health, right? So we know that all of those 3 items are huge issues with our nation. And so this really can help with that.
According to the USDA, up to 12 million children are currently living in households where they may not have enough to eat during the pandemic.
School lunch is critical to student health and well-being, especially for low-income students. It ensures that students have nutrition they need throughout the day to learn.
So we can verify that, yes, free lunches will be available to all students this school year. Here in Mecklenburg County, CMS tells us they still encourage students to fill out their free lunch form. They tell us it helps them know the number of people who need it, which helps with funding. And we are continuing to verify your back to school questions. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us by email at verify@wcnc.com or on my social media pages. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Tomorrow on DBL, a man gets convicted of kidnapping and killing a federal agent.
It was just cold-blooded assassination.
Why is he free decades later? Don't miss this all-new True Crime Chronicles. Plus, TikTok trailblazers. Meet a couple who acts as an all-accepting family for millions of LGBTQ kids. That's tomorrow on DBL.
Welcome back to DBL. The summer games might be over, but some astronauts on the International Space Station are showing off their Olympic moves in zero gravity. They competed in some unofficial Olympic games, including the lack of floor routine, no handball, where they used their mouths to move a ping pong ball, and weightless sharpshooting, which pretty much looks like they're flinging a large rubber band. So cool. Here's my fave. Check out their synchronized swimming routines. Here we go.
Wow, the crowd's going wild with that move.
Go ahead.
Wow. Al gave a whole speech over.
I thought it was going to fade off. I didn't know we were going to play the extended version.
And Sam was going, ooh, cool.
It went for 30 hours.
I'm like, I can't hear anything.
How long were they up? They just seem bored.
Why don't they go all the way to the moon? What
because
are they
there's
doing?
nothing on the moon.
Listen, I want to really have this conversation. Go up there.
You think the moon is inside out and there's stuff in the middle.
That's somewhat true.
It's
like
expensive to go to the moon. Exactly.
We're wasting money. They're doing the Macarena in space. Go up there.
The Macarena.
Yeah,
that was pretty embarrassing.
That just came up on Sam's Pandora.
A little bit of fun in my
People who recover from COVID-19 are rejecting the vaccine, but is natural immunity enough to protect them? Let's connect the dots. Health experts warn recovering from COVID-19 is not enough to protect from reinfection. While the antibodies from natural infection do provide some protections, the data shows the vaccines are much better at protecting you. In fact, a study published by the CDC found people with natural immunity were twice as likely to be reinfected than people who were vaccinated after recovering. That's leading doctors to recommend people who recover from COVID still get the shot. There's another issue with natural immunity. People infected with the virus are more likely not to have symptoms. That increases the risk that they'll spread COVID-19 to others, including immune-compromised friends, family, and children. While people fighting coronavirus for the second time do tend to have milder symptoms, that doesn't mean everyone's safe. There are exceptions, and reinfected patients are ending up hospitalized. In fact, one case presented in The Lancet found a 25-year-old man whose second bout with COVID was more severe than the first.
Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
A new rule will require all U.S. military to get the COVID vaccine. DBL Nation, do you agree with the mandate? Christina Applegate reveals she has multiple sclerosis, the early warning signs you need to know. A Jeffrey Epstein accuser is now filing sexual abuse charges against Prince Andrew. Will he come to America to defend himself? And in today's Strong Women series, the inspiring story of a homeless mom who starts a Girl Scout troop in her shelter.
It was just such a beautiful thing to see all the support.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. It is Tuesday, August 10th. We've got some big news about New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, and we're going to get to that in just a bit. But first, along with Jeff and Al, we've got Dr. Coley with us today. Hello, Doc.
Hi, guys.
Perfect opportunity to have you here because a lot of you are talking about this next story. If you've got family or friends in the military, this might affect you. The Secretary of Defense announced that U.S. military members will be required to get the COVID-19 vaccine beginning next month. Officials said the vaccine is necessary to maintain military readiness. But do these mandates really work? A lot of you have already written in. Does this allow people or motivate people to get vaccinated, especially since a lot of people don't like to be told what to do? Will this backfire? What do you think, Dr. Coley?
So you have to think about mandates within the context. So the science has looked at it and said that top down, or the government telling you what to do, works if the issue is not controversial and if the setting is a setting such as the military where people are used to sort of taking orders from the top down. But on the other hand, the bottom up works better if the issue is more controversial. So when it comes to masks, I really think, a combination of top down and bottom up would work best, and just telling people what to do isn't necessarily going to make them do it.
Before you jump in now, people are saying this is absurd, this is a slippery slope. What I'm confused about, because I come from a military family, this isn't anything new. They're required vaccines, whether it's an isolated incident like anthrax in 1998 where they were all mandated, or whether they're traveling overseas. So why the uproar now when this has been part of policy for so long, depending on what's the contagion is?
It's this vaccine. It's COVID, it's politics. I mean, we don't argue about wearing seatbelts. We don't argue about driving drunk. We don't argue about not smoking in public places. But we're so argumentative when it comes to this because this has just become such a polarized issue. That's why if we could take that out and just focus on the science, we could all move on with our lives.
Yeah, I mean, that polarization has even bled over into like my group chats with my friends, and a lot of them. And I'm getting this, I'm getting a lot of this. I think I'm on mute. Jeff, you take this, but just ask her, like, why do people need to wear masks if they're not vaccinated?
Why do people need to wear masks if they're not vaccinated?
You did that really well, Jeff. You might have a career
Okay, there we go. Okay, I think we're good now.
Okay, so let's bottom line this, you guys. Okay, number one, vaccines work. They are highly effective. In fact, one of the most effective vaccines we've ever had at preventing the transmission of this virus, keeping us out of the hospital and keeping us alive. So if we all got vaccinated, as much as I love you guys, I wouldn't be here talking to you about this. But the reason that we're putting the masks back on is to protect the unvaccinated. So you don't have to wear them in every single setting. I'm not wearing one right now because I know everybody sitting here with me is fully vaccinated. So if I had a party in my house with fully vaccinated people, I don't have to wear a mask. But if I'm going into Target or I'm going to the grocery store, I don't know who might be at risk. And I'm wearing the mask to protect them because the vaccine has already protected me.
Do you see how some people could take that as like, why would I protect you when I'm the one who got the vaccine? Why do I need to be protecting you?
That's a good question.
When you're not following the rules, so to speak.
Well, you're exactly right about that, Jeff, but there is some percentage of the population that can't get the vaccine. So our kids are the best example. So that's why we're doing it. Great. Exactly. And then there are some others who choose not to, but still we're all in this together. We cannot have the me attitude. It has to be the we attitude.
Do you think we're ever going to beat this? We're ever going to get to a point of herd immunity and we can finally get back to normalcy?
So, I want to move away from talking about herd immunity because with the new Delta variant, herd immunity may not exist because herd immunity by definition means that once I get the vaccine, I can't spread it. And that's not the case with the Delta variant. But But we are definitely going to get over this. This virus, in my mind, is going to become something like the flu, like a cold, something that we live alongside. It's endemic instead of being a pandemic.
All right. Well, two takeaways that stuck out to me: vaccines work, and mask up when you're not aware of what someone's vaccine status is.
You got it.
All right, let's get to another big controversy going on right now. Two of the hardest hit states with this new Delta surge are Florida and Texas. The governors of those states have banned mask mandates, including in schools. But several school districts are going against those orders, including Dallas, Austin, and Tallahassee. Then yesterday, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis threatened to withhold pay from school officials in retaliation. All right, so Dr. Coley, again, let's put politics aside. We all want our children to be safe. So from a medical perspective, what should our children be doing going into school this fall?
Every single child should be wearing a mask because there's so much Delta in our community, and our children, most of them under the age of 12, are not protected. So Sam, I want you to be the vaccines. Allie, you're going to be the masks, and Jeff, you're going to be keeping kids out of school. Okay, those are the three breaks that we have on this virus: vaccines, masks, and keeping kids out of school. Kids under 12 can't get the vaccine, so Sam, you're out. Jeff, it would be unthinkable to keep kids out of school for another year, so you're out. So what is the only mitigation measure that we really have for this susceptible population?
Yeah. Coming through for DBL Nation once again. Y'all welcome ahead of time. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sending kids back. Yeah, obviously my youngest is going back to school for the first time at 7. He can't be vaccinated, so this is hitting home for me.
Yeah.
Dak, I want to talk about kids wearing masks. Is this detrimental to them in any way, like growing up, or is this going to stunt them in any way socially?
You know, we talked a lot about that last year because that was our big fear. But we now have science to support that it really doesn't seem to have an impact on how kids recognize other people's faces. So this is a study that came out of University of Parma, that even if we're half covered, we can tell if somebody's mad, if somebody's happy, if somebody's angry. So that's really not an issue. In terms of the tolerability and the ability of kids to tolerate the mask, I think if you put a nice cloth mask on a child, they can probably wear it all day. And Al and I were joking a few minutes ago that if you're in middle school, it covers up your acne too. So
that would have helped me. Yeah, great.
Me, I had the
Oh
horrible
yeah,
acne.
not good for Proactive, but yeah. Anybody else?
Proactive?
Those infomercials got me. I was like,
me
look,
too.
30 days.
An acne statin. Did you use that one?
No, that one seemed scary.
For me, it was the braces. I wanted to cover up my braces all the time.
I have to say, too, kids are so resilient. I think it's how you present it. And Jeff, you always talk about being positive, and how you shape someone's mindset is going to affect them later on. So I say to Sophie, listen, put on your mask. It's like a costume. She gets excited about it. I don't instill the fear in her, so to speak.
Right. Yeah, no, you're exactly right. I kind of want to go back to the story a little bit and make Dr. Coley part of this panel. I don't understand where the incentive is to send out stimulus checks and put people on unemployment, and then at the same time, you're telling people not to come to work unless you get that vaccine. Do you see where that collide may come in sometimes as a society?
Well, you're saying that we shouldn't be incentivizing people to get the vaccine?
Well, I think you definitely should, but if I could stay home and get a government check, right, and not be yelled at or fired from my job, just sit home and collect unemployment, or I could choose, listen, I want to stimulate the economy myself and go back to work, but I don't want to get vaccinated. That's where the rub is in America. Do you see what I'm saying?
Unemployment runs out, though. Unemployment runs out, and I think a lot of people do
But the
want
stimulus
to work.
checks are still coming. Unemployment's still coming.
So do you
but
guys
if
know
what's the incentive? I'm saying if you want to go back to work, but you don't want that vaccine. Am I making sense at all or no?
I get you wanting to go back to work, but and Dr. Coley, I'll defer to you. I would think your office would be like, I don't care what you want. We want to stay open. We want the lights on. And if we have an outbreak here, we can't have that. So I think that's why they want you to come back to work, but come back safe.
All right. I feel like nobody wants to talk about this.
I do. I think we got to move on. But yeah,
all right,
I'm like super into that.
Let's move on. Yeah. Sorry.
All right, so you may have heard this. I actually found this out this morning. I love her, Christina Applegate, who is 49. She revealed on Twitter that she was diagnosed with MS a few months ago. Christina tweeted, quote, "It's been a strange journey, but I've been so supported by people that I know who also have this condition. It's been a tough road, but as we all know, the road keeps going unless some bleep blocks it." And then she also went on to say that she's requesting privacy from this point forward. But Dr. Coley, a lot of people don't know the symptoms of MS, what it exactly, how it affects the body. Can you elaborate a little bit about what Christina might be dealing with?
Yeah, this broke my heart. I know. I watched Married with Children growing up. But you know, I have to say that it's a chronic illness, but it's something that you can really bounce back from. So essentially what it is this autoimmune condition where the body attacks the central nervous system, which is the brain and the spinal cord. So it attacks the lining around the nerves. So you can present with a whole bunch of neurological symptoms. I had a friend in medical school who woke up one day with a blurry eye, and she had MS.
So it can hit at any age?
Any age.
How do you know to go to the doctor and say, is this MS? Can it get misdiagnosed?
It absolutely can. And I would say any funny neurological symptoms. So your eyes, your fingers are tingling, you have a funny weakness somewhere, you have loss of bladder control, you have sexual dysfunction, you have memory problems, you have balance problems, anything that triggers to you, hey, it seems like the brain or the spinal cord may not be working correctly. Very low threshold to go and get checked out. Women are higher risk for contracting MS, but men can have it as well.
So maybe just because we have a lot of people that take care of people watching us right now, can you give us, anybody watching us that's taking care of somebody with MS, like a ray of hope that it is, not curable, but manageable?
Very much so, Al. And really, MS is called a relapsing remitting disease, meaning it goes like this. So you have bad days, you have bad weeks, you have flare-ups. But really, with modern medicine, we have been able to control it very well so that we can also give medicines that prevent disease progression. So it's not a death sentence by any means.
That's good to hear. And we are wishing her all our best. We know that she's absolutely going to tackle this like she's done everything else in her life. Our thoughts are with you, Christina. Coming up on DBL, Andrew Cuomo resigns as governor of New York, what he said about leaving his post amid the sexual harassment allegations. Plus, Prince Andrew is facing sexual abuse charges now in the U.S. Will he come to America to try and defend himself?
No.
Okay. And Nick Cannon gets real about having kids with multiple women. Is monogamy a thing of the past?
Yes.
No.
Closed captioning provided by
Jeff, you were talking a lot about workplace, so explain yourself during the break about the workplace.
Well, I took it into a conversation rather than utilizing the doc here. So I took it to my thing is that people are
out of the realm of medical.
Yes, I did. And I shouldn't have done that. but I guess yeah. I just want to have a deeper conversation about the workplace, about us stimulating our economy, but then at the same time, you're not allowed to go back to work if you're not vaccinated. I think everyone should be vaccinated for the record, but it's weird to incentivize people, but then also to take their job away. I think the more the incentive on this whole thing is to stay home. Why wouldn't I collect an unemployment check? Or why wouldn't I say, I don't want the vaccine, and now I can't go to work, and now I have to collect unemployment? You actually
can't get unemployment if you're fired or let go for not getting the vaccine, because that's a violation of the company's policy.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, really?
Yes.
See, that's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah. So you won't be eligible for unemployment because you violated the company's policy. So anything for
Is that true in every state?
Only if the company mandates, yes. But if the company mandates that you get a vaccine and
then you choose not to, you do not get unemployment?
Violated their
I think that's an interesting topic, right? To talk about.
I wonder, is there anything else that a company has already
Because my point is, if I could say, hey, I totally want to come back to work, but I don't want the vaccine, so just pay me unemployment. I didn't know that you could not get unemployment for that.
Yeah, and also unemployment doesn't go in perpetuity. I think it just goes maybe like a year at the most.
But isn't that a great excuse to keep saying, I still don't want the vaccine? Now we're talking about something that doesn't exist.
Right.
Do you see where I was going with that?
I mean, people that don't want to work, Jeff, they're not going to work. They're going to find a fender bender, car accident, frivolous lawsuit. But I think for the most part, you think about like the people in your life, the people in my life. Most people like want to get out. Some people like to use their hands. Some people like to be social at work. So I think most people will try and figure out a way to get back to work because it is stable. You're not depending on the government. So, but you are right. Some people are going to try and find a way to.
Or insurance.
Oh.
Welcome back to DBL. Tori is here.
Hey.
Expected that.
That was the exact welcome.
Tori, I'm happy you're here.
Thank you, Al.
You're
Thank
just-
You
you.
guys actually look good matching purples.
We do,
Yeah.
Professor Plums, huh?
There we go.
There you go.
I'm gonna let you sit in it. All right, let's get right to this because this is quite the hot topic today. Big news from New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. He announced he is indeed resigning a week after that bombshell report by the Attorney General that found he sexually harassed nearly a dozen women. Governor Cuomo denies all the allegations, but here is what he said in his press conference.
I think that given the circumstances, the best way I can help now is if I step aside and let government get back to governing. And therefore, that's what I'll do. And my resignation will be effective in 14 days.
Wow. Well, what do you think, Tori?
It was going to happen whether he wanted to or not because he could have gotten impeached. You either take the win, you take the loss that way, or you resign. He was not going to be let go of this. This is going to continue. Now he's facing criminal charges, and he doesn't want to be a sitting federal official while facing criminal charges. So he's looking at law firms now. He's going to lawyer up, and you probably won't hear from him for a long time until the trial. He's going to shut up if his lawyers can tell him to do the right thing.
So he's not taking another position. He's stepping down completely.
Completely.
Right.
Now, also, just so you know, current Lieutenant Governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, will replace him. She's the first woman governor ever of New York and is well liked and will be replacing him as in the next 2 weeks, for the next 2 weeks.
And can she can run now for actual governor the next time is
Correct, because
possible?
it's temporary, and then they will have to elect again because it's an elected official position, so you can't just appoint someone. So she's there to fill the hole, so you say, and then there will be a vote at some point.
Wow. I wonder if he's going to face criminal.
He is.
Meaning, is he going to, do you think, end up behind bars?
He might. Cuomo has rubbed a lot of people, and I don't mean this.
behind bars, though.
I'm
honestly,
telling you, Cuomo has really irked a lot of people.
What politician has ended up behind bars?
None.
Right, and I'm sick and tired of them not being able to face, the full extent of the law.
Amen.
If any of us face criminal charges, good luck. I'd be behind bars and
You'd be doing one of the segments we do. Yeah, it's really
rightfully.
Yeah, exactly. It's really interesting that politicians, they don't really face, even like somebody like Roy Moore. I don't know if you remember him a couple years
Alabama.
ago, but he was. I don't think it's going on a limb, but saying he was not a good dude, and that was documented. And it was he still ran. I think he only lost by like a half of a percentage point.
But politicians are wealthy enough to run. They're wealthy enough to get good defense lawyers. And that is the difference. There's two justice systems, the rich and the not rich. And you can get away if you have good enough lawyers. That's what it is.
There's nothing in the middle for me.
There's a food truck outside.
That's right. Can I get the all right, lawyer?
Coming up on DBL, a Jeffrey Epstein accuser is filing sexual abuse charges against Prince Andrew. Will he come to America to defend himself?
If you're eligible for Medicare, then this segment.
First things first, if you haven't taken a picture of your COVID vaccination card, do it now, front and back. It's one of the best backup plans there is. Even the CDC recommends it. Just don't take a selfie and don't post it online. If it's already too late and you've misplaced or lost that card, you can get another copy. The best place to start is where you got the shot. If that happens to be a pharmacy or store, you can contact them to get a replacement card. Some, like Walmart and CVS, even let you access your information through their apps. If that doesn't work, reach out to the state health department's immunization information system. All vaccine providers have to report to the IIS. You can also contact the IIS directly. Keep in mind, it could take a couple of weeks to get that replacement card that way. There are also apps you can download to store a digital copy of your vaccine card, but do your research before you download anything. And that's Connecting the Dots. For Mile High Mornings, I'm Alexandra Lewis.
Welcome back to DBL. A big royal family shakeup. Prince Andrew is being sued in U.S. federal civil court by one of his longtime accusers. Virginia Roberts Giuffre claims the prince sexually abused her on several occasions when she was just 17. The lawsuit goes on to claim that she was a victim of sex trafficking by Jeffrey Epstein and his co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell. In a BBC interview, or Ghislaine, thank you. In a BBC interview back in 2019, the prince denied ever even meeting Virginia. But look at this photo of them together, allegedly taken at Ghislaine's house a decade ago. Watch.
I don't remember meeting her at all. I do not remember a photograph being taken. And I've said consistently and frequently that we never had any sort of sexual contact, whatever.
Wow. So because this is a civil case, the prince can't be forced to appear in court, but he could still be found guilty and be required to pay damages even if he doesn't show up. Oh my gosh. I mean, here we go again. We were just talking about politicians not being held accountable. The same can be applied to the royal family. Yes, these are just allegations, but why did you lie that you've never had met her?
Yeah, we were just talking while we were watching that Prince Andrew interview, and that has to go down as one of the worst, Jeff was saying, the worst interviews of all time.
Like, it's almost an adjective, like, oh man, I pulled a Prince Andrew.
Right.
Literally.
He backfired
to bring light
so
to it.
bad.
Yeah, it was the worst interview probably I've ever seen.
Absolutely. He said he couldn't sweat because of a problem in the Falkland Islands, so it wasn't him. I mean, it was awful. I will say this, Cuomo signed into law the New York State's Child Victims Act in 2019, and that is the reason she is allowed to bring this lawsuit up for a year.
Great.
She missed the statute of limitations. She's getting it, and she wants to be paid back for the emotional and suffering that she said she went down. He can't be compelled to come to America. He won't be, but they can get his phone records. They can find discovery, and they can have him pay. That's the best they can do.
But I think the important point here is it's civil. It's all about money.
Correct. He's not going
to serve any jail time.
Right.
There's a lot of people that probably should. This story keeps going underwater and then resurfaces again. I want somebody to roll over. I want them to get a big fish, them start throwing names out there, and then you don't think it's going to happen?
That ain't going to happen.
I feel like it might.
Did you see how Mr. Epstein passed away?
I'm telling you,
that was the most. You talk about that interview being nonsense. How he was able to kill himself under the watchful eye of two guards. Excuse me, in quotes. So there's a lot going on here, and it won't surface because I think the names involved are so big that it can't. Talk about too big to fail. They've given Prince Andrew almost as a sacrificial lamb. I think there's a lot bigger people
But Ghislaine goes up takes the stand in November, and she's got the keys.
Do you think that Ghislaine will definitely cough up some names?
It depends what they're given to her, what her sentence will be, as opposed to we'll give you immunity if you give it. I don't know. This is my biggest. This is all a conspiracy. I don't think so.
I think you're onto something. There's something going on here, and we all know.
I've cracked the case.
Yes, we did it.
No.
I have to finish the show, but everybody, you could call me after.
Okay, good. We're good.
Coming up on DBL. A Girl Scout troop that's inspiring the world, how a single mom made it her mission to mentor a group of young ladies in her own homeless shelter.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Will free lunch be offered to all students this school year? Let's verify. Our sources, the U.S. Department of Agriculture and registered dietitian Erin Falls. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, schools and daycare facilities will continue to serve free meals through June 2022. Schools across the country will be allowed to serve meals through the USDA's National Lunch Program's Seamless Summer Operation, which is usually only available during summer months. This makes all students eligible for free lunches. The USDA school program has an emphasis on fruits, veggies, milk, and whole grains, which can make it easier on parents and students, according to Erin Falls.
Research shows that receiving free or reduced price school lunches reduces food insecurity, obesity rates, as well as poor health, right? So we know that all of those three items are huge issues with our nation. And so this really can help with that.
According to the USDA, up to 12 million children are currently living in households where they may not have enough to eat during the pandemic.
School lunch is critical to student health and well-being, especially for low-income students. It ensures that students have nutrition they need throughout the day to learn.
So we can verify that, yes, free lunches will be available to all students this school year.
Here in Mecklenburg County, CMS tells us they still encourage students to fill out their free lunch form. They tell us it helps them know the number of people who need it, which helps with funding. And we are continuing to verify your back to school questions. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us by email at verify@wcnc.com or on my social media pages. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments. Tori? A lot of people wrote about Christina Applegate, and I think that's so interesting because MS really is relatable. It hits a lot of families. So Jessica wrote in, wishing Christina Applegate the best. My aunt has MS, and I know the toll it can take. If you're a caregiver out there, it's also, we wish you the best too.
It's hard to be a caregiver.
It really is.
If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show on Facebook or YouTube, chat with other viewers, leave your comments, and be a part of our DBL Nation. But if you are sticking around, here's what's coming up. Nicole Kidman reveals what husband Keith Urban really thinks about her sex scenes. Does he get jealous? And Nick Cannon catches a lot of flack over his decision to have kids with multiple women. Why he says people need to get over it.
People who recover from COVID-19 are rejecting the vaccine, but is natural immunity enough to protect them? Let's connect the dots. Health experts warn recovering from COVID-19 is not enough to protect from reinfection. While the antibodies from natural infection do provide some protections, the data shows the vaccines are much better at protecting you. In fact, a study published by the CDC found people with natural immunity were twice as likely to be reinfected than people who were vaccinated after recovering. That's leading doctors to recommend people who recover from COVID still get the shot. There's another issue with natural immunity. People infected with the virus are more likely not to have symptoms. That increases the risk that they'll spread COVID-19 to others, including immune-compromised friends, family, and children. While people fighting coronavirus for the second time do tend to have milder symptoms, that doesn't mean everyone's safe. There are exceptions, and reinfected patients are ending up hospitalized. In fact, one case presented in The Lancet found a 25-year-old man whose second bout with COVID was more severe than the first.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with Al, Jeff, and Tori. Let's get to it.
They just heard with his thing. That's all that was said.
You have no idea what
you're taken way out of context for people at home.
Yes, okay. All right, let's get to Nick Cannon because he is sharing his thoughts on marriage and monogamy. He recently appeared on the Breakfast Club radio show where host Charlemagne the God asked him about having 4 kids with 3 different women. Nick responded by saying that the idea of marriage or just being with one person is an outdated concept. Watch.
I understand the institution of marriage and stuff, but if we go back to what that was about, that was the classified property. That was because a father gave another man his daughter for land. So when you really get to that concept, it's like, all right, well, we got to change all of this up because I don't want ownership over anybody. I don't have ownership of any of the mothers or like we create families in that sense of we created a beautiful entity.
What do you think, Al?
I think he's right and wrong at the same time. I do agree that, back in the day, marriage was used, in terms of for literally in exchange. Sometimes there would be sheep along with the dog, like literally things like that. But now when we talk about marriage and families, there is a stability that goes with that as well. And when you start talking about the next generation having a stable situation where the dad is around, because we do see all these shows on TLC about polygamy where there's 18 kids. Everybody's like, that's so great. But I always go, does the dad know anything about those 18 kids?
Right.
What scares them? What motivates them? What really is going on with these kids rather than just clothing and feeding? Because it's bigger than that, Jeff. So I think the more people we have involved, the less the kids can get lost in the shuffle.
Right, and we're just taking Nick's Cannon's point of view here, right? We're not talking to any of the mothers.
Right.
Maybe they wanted a relationship.
Good point.
If they're both on board saying, hey, it's okay if I'm not making a joke. If you want to impregnate me, I'll raise our kid together. I'm totally cool with that. And if you're cool with that, then I'm cool with the whole situation. But if Nick Cannon's getting all these women pregnant and none of them want him to move on, they want a father figure in the home, not just send a check every month or whatever. And I'm not, again, throwing stones at Nick Cannon. Then that doesn't work. But everyone has to be on the same page.
Yeah, as long as his boundaries were open, wide open, I have 0 problems with this. I think monogamy is not like concrete. I think it's more like water. I think partnerships, marriages, relationships, all are changing rapidly. It's flexible. You see in the Netherlands, people aren't getting married anymore. They're just becoming partners. That's a different aspect to it psychologically. So to me, whatever you want to do, if you have the boundaries open and you're communicating, go for it.
Well, then I agree with all of you, but then legislation has to change because, you can't go visit your loved one in the hospital if you're just a partner. That's why the LGBTQ community fights so hard to get the same rights as you and I, being in a heterosexual relationship. So I think it's really important, yes, to each its own, just as long as he is speaking very clearly, this is what my intent is. And I can only imagine he is. If he's that forthright on this radio show, I would only hope, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, he's that forthright in his relationship. So good, no problem for it. But
I know we got to move on, but there's somebody's got to stand up for marriage as well. Like there's an economic and just a stability that kids do need. Nick Cannon's in a different situation, but if you do have parents that are kind of floating in between people, your living situation, literally where you live, how you live, changing, that fluctuation is not great for kids and not great for a relationship.
I'm all for that is the total opposite of what I'm looking for.
Right.
I'm all for monogamy.
But some people are into it, clearly.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, Al. That's very important. And I would even argue really quickly, some people do mate for life.
Yeah.
It's not only in the human species. Penguins mate for life.
We've all seen March of the Penguins.
Just want to remind you.
Sam got a higher education.
Right. Got to sneak
March of the Penguins
into this conversation.
I didn't see March of the Penguins.
You didn't?
Nope.
Well, it's phenomenal.
I'm afraid that an orca grabs one of us.
I think you're good. Right?
I'm pretty sure one of the penguins will die.
You know what you just did? You just pulled that's double jeopardy.
No, I'm pretty sure one of the penguins died.
They're all dead by now. They made that 10 years ago.
All right, I don't want to watch it.
You breezed over my double jeopardy joke.
What's double jeopardy?
You know how everyone pretends they know? They're like, you can't be charged twice. It's called double jeopardy. It's like, we've all seen the movie. You did not go to law school. We've all seen the movie. That's what you just pulled right there.
Yeah, okay. I did not see it, though. All right.
I think you did.
You want to tell the audience other things that you haven't seen?
Can we move on?
I don't like watching the animals die. Okay. Whew. Speaking of marriage. Okay, good transition after all of that. Speaking of marriage, Nicole Kidman says her husband, Keith Urban, isn't bothered by her on-screen sex scenes. Really? Speaking to E! News Daily Pop, Nicole said Keith doesn't really pay much attention to what happens while she's on set. Watch.
My husband is an artist, so he understands all of it. And he also does not get involved in any of he sees the show at the very end when it's a show all edited together and he's fresh eyes. He doesn't read any script. He really doesn't know what's going on the set.
She does not age. Does not age. But going back to her career and she commits to her sexy scenes. Let me tell you.
There's a lot of them.
Woo, she commits.
What does that mean?
There's a lot of them, and he definitely cares.
You do think so?
Yes, for sure. That's a good relationship. You give the answer that you think is right. Oh, of course, Jordan doesn't care what I do. They care. If you get home, you care. I don't want to watch a movie with my wife with Jordan and be like, hey, you didn't see this yet? Okay, because there's some intimate scenes she does, and I don't want to be laying there with my partner while they're getting it on.
But don't you
and
really?
Moaning.
You don't have any part of the craft that she disappears into that role.
Yeah,
that's her
right.
job.
Get real.
That's
my main concern. I don't want her to disappear into the role.
Nominee. She gets so deeply into it. Sex
does.
is part of the role. Big Little Lies. That was an important part of her character. That violence with the sex. If they didn't have that, you don't
no
have that
one's
kind
saying
of a
you don't have to have it.
And who are you screaming at?
Sorry.
She get very passionate.
I'm so sorry.
No one's saying that she shouldn't be doing her craft, and she does it very well. And clearly they
Get
have.
real with that artist crap.
But I agree with Jeff that there has to be. I'm not saying that they don't have this like agreement, like okay, you do you, that's fine, but. Internally, something's got to irk him. It would irk me.
I mean, we're talking about logic versus emotion. It's just like, let's take sex out of it. Let's just say that Jordan was a UFC fighter. I don't think you'd want to see that either. You would support her all the way and through training. I don't want to see somebody knee my girl in the face. You know, I don't want to see...
Sexual or not.
Sexual, yeah, exactly. Depends, again, we're open to everything here. But it's like when you love somebody and you have a connection with somebody, you might not want to see them in a very... Fighting is as intimate
you're
as
both
well.
Really mature, and she feels comfortable what he does on tour. He feels comfortable with what she does.
Maybe.
And remember, she was married to Tom Cruise and had a very controlling marriage. I don't think she'd feel comfortable with someone who's a bit controlling. She broke free from that. And I think she didn't seem to me to be masking something.
And that's your house, right? That's cool in your house. In my
I didn't say it was cool in my house. I was in there.
I'm just saying, like we're talking about Nick Cannon, what's cool in his house might not be cool in my house. I'm about monogamy. I'm all for artistry, and if my wife wants to do something like that, not every. I feel like every show I see a scene with Nicole Kidman having sex.
Does every movie have to have so much sex in TV
If you just close the door and you walk in there, you know what happens.
Are you right? What are you,
you don't need to be here all
You
the
sound like
time.
a nun right now.
Okay,
Sex sells.
I'm not going to lay in my bed and listen to my wife pant
weird.
over some other guy.
And it's weird when your kids are in the next room.
But that's all about...
Move their room over down the hallway.
Oh, yeah, let me go
How
buy a
loud is your
bigger
television?
home.
No, Sam.
Hey, Al, my kids are
adults are allowed to view sexual things when you're an adult. You don't make it around the kids.
I don't mind having like, okay, I'm going to watch a very sexy
sex life.
Very sexy
sex
movie.
life.
We got it.
But when I'm just casually watching a TV show, I feel like every other scene sometimes is a raunchy sex scene.
It gets eyeballs, that's why.
Okay.
What? I try to say one thing at
You
the
sound
end.
like a director from the 70s. All right, it sells.
In a pitch room.
Here's your ashtray.
All right, Tom Hanks' son, Chet, is encouraging his followers not to get the COVID-19 vaccine. He recently posted a video on Instagram where at first he seemed to be all in for getting the shot, but just watch.
I suggest to all my followers, you guys set an appointment and get the vaccine first thing. Psych! If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I never had COVID. You ain't sticking me with that needle.
He seems perfectly fine.
Wow. His parents, Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson, were one of the first high-profile celebs to contract the virus. You remember, they even donated their plasma to help with COVID-19 research. What do you think about his rant, Jeff?
I think he wants attention, sadly. You know, I don't think he's really, and if you take this as knowledge, like you won't listen to a doctor, but you listen to Chet Hanks is why the reason you did not get the COVID-19 shot, natural
selection.
Nature will take.
I was going to say, I think if you listen to Chet Hanks, something happened to you years ago. Like, no,
I never even heard of him until he started making these outrageous videos.
Well, remember he had that video? Yeah, for Adele.
Exactly. Yeah, Jamaican patois, does rapping. He's very like provocateur. I know what you mean. I never heard of him.
He's desperate for attention because he's jealous of his parents.
He's a troll.
This smacked of privilege in the fact that his parents could get the best care. He knows if he was to contract COVID, he would get literally the best care possible. And so he's just like, yeah, you guys don't do that either. They're not talking to people that might not have any health insurance, that might not have any cushion to lose their job. So it's privilege, but he's such a goofball. You can't even.
Well, let me ask you guys. You guys are parents. If you were Tom Hanks, I don't have kids. You're Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson, and you're watching your child do that. What do you do?
It's artistry.
Oh, please.
That was your excuse.
No, he's not an artist. He's a troll, like Sam said.
I would be super
I'd be disappointed. I'm joking. I'd be disappointed. Yes.
I would also try to get him to have like a full-length conversation with Dr. Coley and say whatever concerns that you have, please.
Sam, he's like 34. You're not getting through at this point.
That's not true.
They had a chance to nip that in the bud when he was acting like a goofball. I almost said something else. At 8 or 9, they didn't. Remember, he was doing weird stuff on the red carpet a couple years ago where he was rapping or something on the red carpet.
Why was he on the red carpet?
Because his dad is the most famous actor in the world, Sam. And so, you know, he's been allowed to do this forever.
Right, there's no.
And so, like at 34, I don't know, is it too late? Do you just let your failed son go?
Super embarrassing.
No, you do not let your failed son go. You keep chipping at him.
At 50, he's going to round the corner.
Math doesn't work out. First of all, 34 is just a shot in the dark.
Yeah,
a couple of years ago, he was 8 or 9.
And at 31.
I'm saying he was probably acting like a jerk early, and they did nothing, and now he's
You
grown.
don't know that they did nothing. He could have been a lone sheep. Coming up.
Yeah, exactly.
I meant to say the black sheep. Right? The lone sheep's different than the black sheep.
The lone wolf and the black sheep.
Okay. Coming up on DBL. Are you addicted to your phone? A new survey reveals the number of people who can't skip screen time. And a single mom starts a Girl Scout troop in her own homeless shelter. Why this group is much more than badges and cookies.
Closed captioning provided by
Hey guys, I just wanted to say we're about to do a segment in which we talk about our phone usage, and you're about to hear some stuff coming from me that's not going to be good. I think you're going to be surprised. I think something.
What's that?
We're doing a segment next about our phone usage, and I think you're going to see something really embarrassing about me in that, because we're going to show each of our screen
I think
times.
they could put it together. You're on your phone too much? That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
but my question to you out there is, don't you use your phone for books? I watch The Sopranos because I just started The Sopranos on it.
Watch DBL.
You watch DBL, of course you're watching DBL.
And by the way, screen time doesn't mean your phone, it means your iPad, your
Anything,
television,
right.
any screen that
So
you look
I'm gonna
at.
look really bad in about 5 minutes, but I think it's because I use this as like a control center.
I could take, well, I will, so here's my argument.
Stay tuned.
I don't go, my phone is not a crutch for me, but I do enjoy television. I like watching my shows. I like to go to bed watching television.
Yeah.
So that counts as screen time.
It
so
does?
If you like, yeah, all.
You mean if you're streaming stuff?
No, screen is a screen.
No, but on your phone they added up your screen time, literally, to
I know,
the hour
but
minutes.
you could do that on your phone, but the story that we're doing is screen time in general.
Oh, okay, cool.
If we did a phone story, how much you're on your phone and Instagram, you'd be shamed.
He doesn't seem like he's hurting for anything.
That's right. That's a good. Someone's gonna click that and do a nice meme.
By the way, I just started The Sopranos, never seen it before, and so much of what you say comes from Tony Soprano when he's like, "What do you want, you wackadoo? What are you, bananas?" I'm like, "Oh my God, that's Jeff Schroeder."
It's super stereotypical.
That's what you say. You call me bananas constantly.
Wackadoo?
You call me wackadoo
Should I
too.
binge watch The
Ew.
I know. I just got my thing out.
Gross. Ugh. We hate each other here.
Wednesday on DBL, a man gets convicted of kidnapping and killing a federal agent.
It was his cold-blooded assassination.
Why is he free decades later? Don't miss this all-new True Crime Chronicles. Plus, TikTok trailblazers. Meet a couple who acts as an all-accepting family for millions of LGBTQ kids. That's Wednesday on DBL. Welcome back to DBL. 2 million. That's how many American kids will face a period of homelessness this year. It is a staggering and heartbreaking number that Giselle Burgess and her young family know firsthand. That's today's Strong Women story.
She's a single mom with 5 little mouths to feed.
I am a very ambitious person, and so I like to take on more than I can handle at times.
Life is busy. Between the school drop-offs, her office job, and volunteering at her daughter's Girl Scout troop.
The girls really wanted to join because their friends were in the troop. At first, it took me a while. I was really skeptical, like, I don't know if I have time to do this. But then them just always on top of me. Somehow I was tricked into becoming a troop leader.
Their lives are routine and safe until it's all ripped out from underneath them.
My landlord is deciding to sell the house that we were living in, and so trying to find a new apartment became our new struggle of where are we going to live? Where are we going to go to next?
They seek refuge in a New York City homeless shelter.
And then as a parent, you have to uphold this certain way and letting your kids know, like, you know, everything's fine. But on the inside, I'm literally screaming and crying, like, what am I going to do?
Giselle and her kids struggle to find normalcy.
I am the eldest, and I feel like I had to put a brave face on. So I feel like it was my responsibility to try to bring everyone's mood up and, you know, let them know that we're gonna get through this.
Show them the way, girl, show them the way. Looking to build a community for her family, Giselle decides to start a Girl Scout troop at the shelter.
There's so many rules and regulations when you move into the shelter system. I get that it's for security purposes, but we still have children, right? We still have children in the situation that need to see that there's hope.
Giselle founds Troop 6000,
which is the first homeless Girl Scout troop right here in New York City.
All of its members are girls from the shelter.
Immediately, we clicked. We all builded a sisterhood based off of our experiences, and I have never met girls like them before.
Each girl learns courage, confidence, and character.
We got our first group of girls, and they had such a great time and went back to their parents so excited. And next thing you know, we just started growing.
Today, Troop 6000 consists of more than 20 homeless shelters across New York, creating a sisterhood unlike any other.
And it was just such a beautiful thing to see all the support that our girls got and how incredible our city is when it comes to building community and enforcing it.
Giselle and her family moved out of the shelter in 2018, and their remarkable story has inspired a book written by Nikita Stewart of the New York Times. Aww. Troop 6000, the Girl Scout troop that began in a shelter and inspired the world, is available now on Amazon. Coming up on DBL, could you go a full day without any screen time? A new survey reveals how many people just can't live without it.
We all know that movement
First things first, if you haven't taken a picture of your COVID vaccination card, do it now, front and back. It's one of the best backup plans there is. Even the CDC recommends it. Just don't take a selfie and don't post it online. If it's already too late and you've misplaced or lost that card, you can get another copy. The best place to start is where you got the shot. If that happens to be a pharmacy or store, you can contact them to get a replacement card. Some, like Walmart and CVS, even let you access your information through their apps. If that doesn't work, reach out to the state health department's immunization information system. All vaccine providers have to report to the IIS. You can also contact the IIS directly. Keep in mind it could take a couple of weeks to get that replacement card that way. There are also apps you can download to store a digital copy of your vaccine card, but do your research before you download anything. And that's Connecting the Dots. For Mile High Mornings, I'm Alexandra Lewis.
Welcome back to DBL. When was the last time you went a full day without looking at your phone? Be honest. You'd never believe this, but 73% of adults find it very difficult to go an entire day without looking at a screen. That includes computers, tablets, TVs, and phones. But before we discuss this, out of the group, who spends the most time on their phone? We do not know, but we did talk to producers about our individual screen time. We showed them on our phones, so we can't lie. Drum roll, please. The host who is the most glued to their phone is, at 9 hours and 19 minutes, Tori.
No,
Wait,
Al.
Al! Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
There is an asterisk there.
Whoa.
Yes, I was home last week, and my youngest Ford has my phone all the time downloading things. That's not me. I'm far from that, but that's why that's that.
Hey, denial.
Super guilty.
That's the first sign, buddy. That's the first sign.
Tori wasn't far behind you, though.
No.
Tori's at 8 hours and 21 minutes a day.
What are you doing on there?
To be honest, I do podcasts, I read books, and I watch Netflix all on my phone. I'm almost always with it. If I'm gardening, I'm podcasting. If I'm reading, I'm cross-stitching. So I do feel bad about that, but I think this is my recreational center, a rec center.
Your life sounds sad.
I spend 5 hours and 2 minutes on average, and then Jeff spends the least time on his phone at 4 hours and 1 minute.
Jeff's my hero.
Yeah, but now this does encompass not just social media. It can be if you're on a phone call talking to your friends. It could be you're watching something on Netflix. We have our morning call every morning. It could be anything that it has to do with your phone. So I wonder if Pandora's on there. Because I'm listening to Pandora like all afternoon. Because I really do not go use my phone when I'm home, except for Pandora. So I'm interested in that.
Welcome to 2016.
What?
Pandora.
Can we go to Napster?
What's the alternative?
Spotify?
Oh, my husband uses Spotify.
Okay, well.
I already have Pandora on my phone. I'm not going to download another app. I try not to be on my phone.
Okay, well, clearly
Mr.
it's
9
been
hours
2016.
a day. 9
That's
hours
baby
a
Ford.
day.
You're yelling at my baby son. Yeah, no, I really just, I like to look at sports and call you and talk about sports. So that's where I do most of my.
Sports is the number one reason why people use their phones.
Yeah, that's it. You know I'm a junkie with that.
Sports.
I love sports.
What's really happening with that phone?
I do editing too.
Okay, we'll be right back. Yes.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
The question, will free lunch be offered to all students this school year? Let's verify. Our sources, the U.S. Department of Agriculture and registered dietitian Aaron Falls. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, schools and daycare facilities will continue to serve free meals through June 2022. Schools across the country will be allowed to serve meals through the USDA's National Lunch Program's Seamless Summer Operation, which is usually only available during summer months. This makes all students eligible for free lunches. The USDA school program has an emphasis on fruits, veggies, milk, and whole grains, which can make it easier on parents and students, according to Aaron Falls.
Research shows that receiving free or reduced price school lunches reduces food insecurity, obesity rates, as well as poor health, right? So we know that all of those three items are huge issues with our nation. And so this really can help with that.
According to the USDA, up to 12 million children are currently living in households where they may not have enough to eat during the pandemic.
School lunch is critical to student health and well-being, especially for low-income students. It ensures that students have nutrition they need throughout the day to learn.
So we can verify that, yes, free lunches will be available to all students this school year.
Here in Mecklenburg County, CMS tells us they still encourage students to fill out their free lunch form. They tell us it helps them know the number of people who need it, which helps with funding. And we are continuing to verify your back to school questions. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us by email at verify@wcnc.com or on my social media pages. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Tomorrow on DBL, a man gets convicted of kidnapping and killing a federal agent.
It was his cold-blooded assassination.
Why is he free decades later? Don't miss this all-new True Crime Chronicles. Plus, TikTok trailblazers. Meet a couple who acts as an all-accepting family for millions of LGBTQ kids. That's tomorrow on DBL.
Welcome back to DBL. The summer games might be over, but some astronauts on the International Space Station are showing off their Olympic moves in zero gravity. They competed in some unofficial Olympic games, including the lack of floor routine, no handball, where they used their mouths to move a ping pong ball, and weightless sharpshooting, which pretty much looks like they're flinging a large rubber band. So cool. Here's my fave. Check out their synchronized swimming routines. Here we go.
Wow, the crowd's going wild with that move.
Go ahead, Al.
Wow. Al gave a whole speech over.
I thought it was going to fade off. I didn't know we were going to play the extended version.
And Sam was going, ooh, cool.
It went for 30 hours.
I'm like, I can't hear
How
anything.
long are they up? They just seem bored.
Why don't they go all the way to the moon? What
Because
are they
there's
doing?
nothing on the moon.
Listen, I want to really have this conversation. Go up there.
You think the moon is inside out and there's stuff in the middle.
That's somewhat
It's not.
true.
It's
Like a milk
expensive to go to the moon.
Exactly.
We're wasting money. They're doing the Macarena in space. Go up there.
The Macarena.
Yeah,
That was pretty embarrassing.
That just came up on Sam's Pandora.
A little bit of fun in my
Some people who recover from COVID-19 are rejecting the vaccine, but is natural immunity enough to protect them? Let's connect the dots. Health experts warn recovering from COVID-19 is not enough to protect from reinfection. While the antibodies from natural infection do provide some protections, the data shows the vaccines are much better at protecting you. In fact, a study published by the CDC found people with natural immunity were twice as likely to be reinfected than people who were vaccinated after recovering. That's leading doctors to recommend people who recover from COVID still get the shot. There's another issue with natural immunity. People infected with the virus are more likely not to have symptoms. That increases the risk that they'll spread COVID-19 to others, including immune-compromised friends, family, and children. While people fighting coronavirus for the second time do tend to have milder symptoms, that doesn't mean everyone's safe. There are exceptions, and reinfected patients are ending up hospitalized. In fact, one case presented in The Lancet found a 25-year-old man whose second bout with COVID was more severe than the first.
Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
A new rule will require all U.S. military to get the COVID vaccine. DBL Nation, do you agree with the mandate? Christina Applegate reveals she has multiple sclerosis, the early warning signs you need to know. A Jeffrey Epstein accuser is now filing sexual abuse charges against Prince Andrew. Will he come to America to defend himself? And in today's Strong Women series, the inspiring story of a homeless mom who starts a Girl Scout troop in her shelter.
It was just such a beautiful thing to see all the support.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2,
Welcome to DBL. It is Tuesday, August 10th. We've got some big news about New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, and we're going to get to that in just a bit. But first, along with Jeff and Al, we've got Dr. Coley with us today. Hello, Doc.
Hi, guys.
Perfect opportunity to have you here because a lot of you are talking about this next story. If you've got family or friends in the military, this might affect you. The Secretary of Defense announced that U.S. military members will be required to get the COVID-19 vaccine beginning next month. Officials said the vaccine is necessary to maintain military readiness. But do these mandates really work? A lot of you have already written in. Does this allow people or motivate people to get more, to get vaccinated, especially since a lot of people don't like to be told what to do? Will this backfire? What do you think, Dr. Coley?
So you have to think about mandates within the context. So the science has looked at it and said that top down or the government telling you what to do works if the issue is not controversial and if the setting is a setting such as the military where people are used to sort of taking orders from the top down. But on the other hand, the bottom up works better if the issue is more controversial. So when it comes to masks, I really think, you know, a combination of top down and bottom up would work best, and just telling people what to do isn't necessarily going to make them do it.
Before you jump in now, people are saying this is absurd, this is a slippery slope. What I'm confused about, because I come from a military family, military, this isn't anything new. They're required vaccines, whether it's an isolated incident like anthrax in 1998 where they were all mandated, or whether they're traveling overseas. So why the uproar now when this has been part of policy for so long, depending on what's the contagion is?
It's this vaccine. It's COVID, it's politics. I mean, we don't argue about wearing seatbelts. We don't argue about driving drunk. We don't argue about not smoking in public places. But we're so argumentative when it comes to this because this has just become such a polarized issue. That's why if we could take that out and just focus on the science, we could all move on with our lives.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that polarization has even bled over into like my group chats with my friends. And a lot of them, and I'm getting this, I'm getting a lot of this, I think I'm on mute. Jeff, you take this, but just ask her, like, why do people need to wear masks if they're not vaccinated?
Why do people need to wear masks if they're not vaccinated?
You did that really well, Jeff. You might have a career
Okay,
in
there we
TV.
go. Okay, I think we're good now.
Okay, so let's bottom line this, you guys. Okay, number one, vaccines work. They are highly effective. In fact, one of the most effective vaccines we've ever had at preventing the transmission of this virus, keeping us out of the hospital and keeping us alive. So if we all got vaccinated, as much as I love you guys, I wouldn't be here talking to you about this. But the reason that we're putting the masks back on is to protect the unvaccinated. So you don't have to wear them in every single setting. I'm not wearing one right now because I know everybody sitting here with me is fully vaccinated. So if I had a party in my house with fully vaccinated people, I don't have to wear a mask. But if I'm going into Target or I'm going to the grocery store, I don't know who might be at risk. And I'm wearing the mask to protect them because the vaccine has already protected me.
Do you see how some people could take that as like, why would I protect you when I'm the one who got the vaccine? Why do I need to be protecting you?
That's a good question.
When you're not following the rules, so to speak.
Well, you're exactly right about that, Jeff, but there is some percentage of the population that can't get the vaccine. So our kids are the best example.
So that's why we're doing it. Great.
Exactly. And then there are some others who choose not to, but still we're all in this together. We cannot have the me attitude. It has to be the we attitude.
Do you think we're ever going to beat this? We're ever going to get to a point of herd immunity and we can finally get back to normalcy?
So, you know, I want to move away from talking about herd immunity because with the new Delta variant, herd immunity may not exist because herd immunity by definition means that once I get the vaccine, I can't spread it. And that's not the case with the Delta variant. But we are definitely going to get over this. This virus, in my mind, is going to become something like the flu, like a cold, something that we live alongside. It's endemic instead of being a pandemic.
All right. Well, two takeaways that stuck out to me: vaccines work, and mask up when you're not aware of what someone's vaccine status is.
You got it.
All right, let's get to another big controversy going on right now. Two of the hardest hit states with this new Delta surge are Florida and Texas. The governors of those states have banned mask mandates, including in schools. But several school districts are going against those orders, including Dallas, Austin, and Tallahassee. Then yesterday, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis threatened to withhold pay from school officials in retaliation. All right, so Dr. Coley, again, let's put politics aside. We all want our children to be safe. So from a medical perspective, what should our children be doing going into school this fall?
Every single child should be wearing a mask because there's so much delta in our community, and our children, most of them under the age of 12, are not protected. So Sam, I want you to be the vaccines. Allie, you're going to be the masks, and Jeff, you're going to be keeping kids out of school. Okay, those are the 3 breaks that we have on this virus: vaccines, masks, and keeping kids out of school. Kids under 12 can't get the vaccine, so Sam, you're out. Jeff, it would be unthinkable to keep kids out of school for another year, so you're out. So what is the only mitigation measure that we really have for this susceptible population?
Yeah. Coming through for DBL Nation once again, y'all. Welcome ahead of time. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sending kids back. Yeah, obviously my youngest is going back to school for the first time at 7. He can't be vaccinated, so this is hitting home for me.
Yeah.
Dak, I want to talk about kids wearing masks. Is this detrimental to them in any way, like growing up, or is this going to stunt them in any way socially?
You know, we talked a lot about that last year because that was our big fear. But we now have science to support that it really doesn't seem to have an impact on how kids recognize other people's faces. So this is a study that came out of University of Parma, that even if we're half covered, we can tell if somebody's mad, if somebody's happy, if somebody's angry. So that's really not an issue. In terms of the tolerability and the ability of kids to tolerate the mask, I think if you put a nice cloth mask on a child, they can probably wear it all day. And Al and I were joking a few minutes ago that if you're in middle school, it covers up your acne too. So
that would have helped me. Yeah, great.
Me, I had the horrible acne.
Not good for Proactive, but yeah. Anybody else?
Proactive?
Those infomercials got me. I was like, look, 30 days.
An acne statin, did you use that one?
No, that one seemed scary.
For me, it was the braces. I wanted to cover up my braces all the time.
I have to say, too, kids are so resilient. I think it's how you present it. And Jeff, you always talk about being positive, and how you shape someone's mindset is going to affect them later on. So I say to Sophie, listen, put on your mask. It's like a costume. She gets excited about it. I don't instill the fear in her, so to speak.
Right. Yeah, no, you're exactly right. I kind of want to go back to the story a little bit and make Dr. Coley part of this panel. I don't understand where the incentive is to send out stimulus checks and put people on unemployment, and then at the same time, you're telling people not to come to work unless you get that vaccine. Do you see where that collide may come in sometimes as a society?
Well, you're saying that we shouldn't be incentivizing people to get the vaccine?
Well, I think you definitely should, but if I could stay home and get a government check, right, and not be yelled at or fired from my job, just sit home and collect unemployment, or I could choose, listen, I want to stimulate the economy myself and go back to work, but I don't want to get vaccinated. That's where the rub is in America. Do you see what I'm saying?
Runs out, though. Unemployment runs out, and I think a lot of people do
But the
want
stimulus
to work.
checks are still coming. Unemployment's still coming.
So do you guys know
what's the incentive? I'm saying if you want to go back to work, but you don't want that vaccine. Am I making sense at all or no?
I get you wanting to go back to work, but and Dr. Coley, I'll defer to you. I would think your office would be like, I don't care what you want. We want to stay open. We want the lights on. And if we have an outbreak here, we can't have that. So I think that's why they want you to come back to work, but come back safe.
All right. I feel like nobody wants to talk about this. So.
I do. I think we got to move on. But yeah,
all right,
I'm like super into that.
Let's move on. Yeah. Sorry.
All right, so you may have heard this. I actually found this out this morning. I love her, Christina Applegate, who is 49. She revealed on Twitter that she was diagnosed with MS a few months ago. Christina tweeted, quote, "It's been a strange journey, but I've been so supported by people that I know who also have this condition. It's been a tough road, but as we all know, the road keeps going unless some bleep blocks it." And then she also went on to say that she would, she's requesting privacy from this point forward. But Dr. Coley, a lot of people don't know the symptoms of MS, what it exactly, how it affects the body. Can you elaborate a little bit about what Christina might be dealing with?
Yeah, this broke my heart. I know. I watched Married with Children growing up. But, you know, I have to say that it's a chronic illness, but it's something that you can really bounce back from. So essentially what it is this autoimmune condition where the body attacks the central nervous system, which is the brain and the spinal cord. So it attacks the lining around the nerves. So you can present with a whole bunch of neurological symptoms. I had a friend in medical school who woke up one day with a blurry eye, and she had MS.
So it can hit at any age?
Any age.
How do you know to go to the doctor and say, is this MS? Can it get misdiagnosed?
It absolutely can. And I would say any funny neurological symptoms. So your eyes, your fingers are tingling, you have a funny weakness somewhere, you have loss of bladder control, you have sexual dysfunction, you have memory problems, you have balance problems, anything that triggers to you, hey, it seems like the brain or the spinal cord may not be working correctly. Very low threshold to go and get checked out. Women are higher risk for contracting MS, but men can have it as well.
So maybe just because we have a lot of people that take care of people watching us right now. Can you give us, anybody watching us that's taking care of somebody with MS, like a ray of hope that it is, not curable, but manageable?
Very much so, Al. And really, MS is called a relapsing remitting disease, meaning it goes like this. So you have bad days, you have bad weeks, you have flare-ups. But really, with modern medicine, we have been able to control it very well so that we can also give medicines that prevent disease progression. So it's not a death sentence by any means.
That's good to hear. And we are wishing her all our best. We know that she's absolutely going to tackle this like she's done everything else in her life. Our thoughts are with you, Christina. Coming up on DBL, Andrew Cuomo resigns as governor of New York, what he said about leaving his post amid the sexual harassment allegations. Plus, Prince Andrew is facing sexual abuse charges now in the U.S. Will he come to America to try and defend himself?
No.
Okay. And Nick Cannon gets real about having kids with multiple women. Is monogamy a thing of the past?
Yes.
No.
Closed captioning provided by...
Jeff, you were talking a lot about workplace, so explain yourself during the break about the workplace.
Well, I took it into a conversation rather than utilizing the doc here. So I took it to, my thing is that people are...
out of the realm of medical.
Yes, I did. And I shouldn't have done that. but I guess, yeah. I just want to have a deeper conversation about the workplace, about us stimulating our economy, but then at the same time, you're not allowed to go back to work if you're not vaccinated. I think everyone should be vaccinated for the record, but it's weird to incentivize people, but then also to take their job away. I think the more the incentive on this whole thing is to stay home. Why wouldn't I collect an unemployment check? Or why wouldn't I say, I don't want the vaccine, and now I can't go to work, and now I have to collect unemployment? There's no...
You can't get unemployment if you're fired or let go for not getting the vaccine, because that's a violation of the company's policy.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, really?
Yes.
See, that's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah. So you won't be eligible for unemployment because you violated the company's policy. So anything for...
Is that true in every state?
Only if the company mandates, yes. But if the company mandates that you get a vaccine and
then you choose not to, you do not get unemployment?
Violated their
I think that's an interesting topic, right? To talk about.
I wonder, is there anything else that a company has already
Because my point is, if I could say, hey, I totally want to come back to work, but I don't want the vaccine, so just pay me unemployment. I didn't know that you could not get unemployment for that.
Yeah, and also unemployment doesn't go in perpetuity. I think it just goes maybe like a year at the most.
But isn't that a great excuse to keep saying, I still don't want the vaccine? Now we're talking about something that doesn't exist.
Right.
Do you see where I was going with that?
I mean, people that don't want to work, Jeff, they're not going to work. They're going to find a fender bender, car accident, frivolous lawsuit. But I think for the most part, you think about like the people in your life, the people in my life. Most people like want to get out. Some people like to use their hands. Some people like to be social at work. So I think most people will try and figure out a way to get back to work because it is stable. You're not depending on the government. So, but you are right. Some people are going to try and find a way to.
Or insurance.
Oh.
Welcome back to DBL. Tori is here.
Hey.
Expected that.
That was the exact welcome.
Tori, I'm happy you're here.
Thank you, Al.
You guys actually look good matching purples.
We do.
Yeah.
Professor Plums, huh?
There we go.
There you go.
Okay. I'm going to let you sit in it. All right, let's get right to this because this is quite the hot topic today. Big news from New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. He announced he is indeed resigning a week after that bombshell report by the Attorney General that found he sexually harassed nearly a dozen women. Governor Cuomo denies all the allegations, but here is what he said in his press conference.
I think that given the circumstances, the best way I can help now is if I step aside and let government get back to governing. And therefore, that's what I'll do. And my resignation will be effective in 14 days.
Wow. Well, what do you think, Tori?
It was going to happen whether he wanted to or not because he could have gotten impeached. You either take the win, you take the loss that way, or you resign. He was not going to be let go of this. This is going to continue. Now he's facing criminal charges, and he doesn't want to be a sitting federal official while facing criminal charges. So he's looking at law firms now. He's going to lawyer up, and you probably won't hear from him for a long time until the trial. He's going to shut up if his lawyers can tell him to do the right thing.
So he's not taking another position. He's stepping down completely.
Completely.
Right.
Now, also, just so you know, current Lieutenant Governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, will replace him. She's the first woman governor ever of New York, and is well liked, and will be replacing him as in the next 2 weeks. For the next 2 weeks.
And can she can run for actual governor the next time is
correct, because
possible?
it's temporary, and then they will have to elect again because it's an elected official position, so you can't just appoint someone. So she's there to fill the hole, so you say, and then there will be a vote at some point.
Wow, I wonder if he's going to face criminal.
He is.
Meaning, is he going to, do you think, end up behind bars?
He might. Cuomo has rubbed a lot of people, and I don't mean this.
Behind bars, though.
I'm
honestly,
telling you, Cuomo has really irked a lot of people.
What politician has ended up behind bars?
None.
Right, and I'm sick and tired of them not being able to face, the full extent of the law.
Amen.
If any of us face criminal charges, good luck. I'd be behind bars in a,
You'd be doing one of the segments we do. Yeah, it's really
rightfully.
Yeah, exactly. It's really interesting that politicians, they don't really face, even like somebody like Roy Moore. I don't know if you remember him a couple years
Alabama.
ago. But he was, I don't think it's going on a limb, but saying he was not a good dude, and that was documented. And it was he still ran. I think he only lost by like a half of a percentage point.
Politicians are wealthy enough to run. They're wealthy enough to get good defense lawyers. And that is the difference. There's two justice systems, the rich and the not rich. And you can get away if you have good enough lawyers. That's what it is.
There's nothing in the middle for me.
There's a food truck outside.
That's right. Can I get that? All right, lawyer.
Coming up on DBL, a Jeffrey Epstein accuser is filing sexual abuse charges against Prince Andrew. Will he come to America to defend himself?
First things first, if you haven't taken a picture of your COVID vaccination card, do it now, front and back. It's one of the best backup plans there is. Even the CDC recommends it. Just don't take a selfie and don't post it online. If it's already too late and you've misplaced or lost that card, you can get another copy. The best place to start is where you got the shot. If that happens to be a pharmacy or store, you can contact them to get a replacement card. Some, like Walmart and CVS, even let you access your information through their apps. If that doesn't work, reach out to the state health department's immunization information system. All vaccine providers have to report to the IIS. You can also contact the IIS directly. Keep in mind, it could take a couple of weeks to get that replacement card that way. There are also apps you can download to store a digital copy of your vaccine card, but do your research before you download anything. And that's Connecting the Dots. For Mile High Mornings, I'm Alexandra Lewis.
Welcome back to DBL. A big royal family shakeup. Prince Andrew is being sued in U.S. federal civil court by one of his longtime accusers. Virginia Roberts Giuffre claims the prince sexually abused her on several occasions when she was just 17. The lawsuit goes on to claim that she was a victim of sex trafficking by Jeffrey Epstein and his co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell. In a BBC interview, or Ghislaine, thank you. In a BBC interview back in 2019, the prince denied ever even meeting Virginia. But look at this photo of them together, allegedly taken at Ghislaine's house a decade ago. Watch.
I don't remember meeting her at all. I do not remember a photograph being taken. And I've said consistently and frequently that we never had any sort of sexual contact whatever.
Wow. So because this is a civil case, the prince can't be forced to appear in court, but he could still be found guilty and be required to pay damages even if he doesn't show up. Oh my gosh. I mean, here we go again. We were just talking about politicians not being held accountable. The same can be applied to the royal family. Yes, these are just allegations, but why did you lie that you have never had met her?
Yeah, we were just talking while we were watching that Prince Andrew interview, and that has to go down as one of the worst, Jeff was saying, the worst interviews of all time.
Like, it's almost an adjective. Like, oh man, I pulled a Prince Andrew.
Right.
Literally.
He backfired
bring light to
so
it.
bad.
Yeah, it was the worst interview probably I've ever seen.
Absolutely. He said he couldn't sweat because of a problem in the Falkland Islands, so it wasn't him. I mean, it was awful. I will say this, Cuomo signed into law the New York State's Child Victims Act in 2019, and that is the reason she is allowed to bring this lawsuit up for a year.
Great.
She was missed the statute of limitations. She's getting it, and she wants to be paid back for the emotional and suffering that she said she went down. He can't be compelled to come to America. He won't be, but they can get his phone records. They can find discovery, and they can have him pay. That's the best they can do.
But I think the important point here is it's civil. It's all about money.
Correct. He's not
going to serve any jail time.
Right.
There's a lot of people that probably should. This story keeps going underwater and then resurfaces again. I want somebody to roll over. I want them to get a big fish, them start throwing names out there, and then you don't think it's going to happen?
That ain't going to happen.
I feel like it
Did
might.
you see how Mr. Epstein passed away?
I'm telling you,
that was the most. You talk about that interview being nonsense. How he was able to kill himself under the watchful eye of two guards.
Put it in quotes?
In quotes. So there's a lot going on here, and it won't surface because I think the names involved are so big that it can't. Talk about too big to fail. They've given Prince Andrew almost as a sacrificial lamb. I think there's a lot bigger people.
But Ghislaine goes up takes the stand in November, and she's got the keys.
Do you think that Ghislaine will definitely cough up some names?
If it depends what they're given to her, what her sentence will be, as opposed to we'll give you immunity if you give it. I don't know. This is my biggest. This is all a conspiracy.
I don't think so. I think you're onto something. There's something going on here, and
I've cracked the case.
Yes, we did it.
No.
I have to finish the show, but everybody, you could call me after.
Okay, good. We're good.
Coming up on DBL. A Girl Scout troop that's inspiring the world, how a single mom made it her mission to mentor a group of young ladies in her own homeless shelter.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Credit card.
Will free lunch be offered to all students this school year? Let's verify. Our sources, the U.S. Department of Agriculture and registered dietitian Aaron Falls. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, schools and daycare facilities will continue to serve free meals through June 2022. Schools across the country will be allowed to serve meals through the USDA's National Lunch Program's Seamless Summer Operation, which is usually only available during summer months. This makes all students eligible for free lunches. The USDA school program has an emphasis on fruits, veggies, milk, and whole grains, which can make it easier on parents and students, according to Aaron Falls.
Research shows that receiving free or reduced price school lunches reduces food insecurity, obesity rates, as well as poor health, right? So we know that all of those three items are huge issues with our nation. And so this really can help with that.
According to the USDA, up to 12 million children are currently living in households where they may not have enough to eat during the pandemic.
School lunch is critical to student health and well-being, especially for low-income students. It ensures that students have nutrition they need throughout the day to learn.
So we can verify that, yes, free lunches will be available to all students this school year.
Here in Mecklenburg County, CMS tells us they still encourage students to fill out their free lunch form. They tell us it helps them know the number of people who need it, which helps with funding. And we are continuing to verify your back to school questions. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us by email at verify@wcnc.com or on my social media pages. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments. Tori?
A lot of people wrote about Christina Applegate, and I think that's so interesting because MS really is relatable. It hits a lot of families. So Jessica wrote in, wishing Christina Applegate the best. My aunt has MS, and I know the toll it can take. If you're a caregiver out there, it's also, we wish you the best too.
Perhaps it's hard to be a caregiver.
It really is.
If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show on Facebook or YouTube, chat with other viewers, leave your comments, and be a part of our DBL Nation. But if you are sticking around, here's what's coming up. Nicole Kidman reveals what husband Keith Urban really thinks about her sex scenes. Does he get jealous? And Nick Cannon catches a lot of flack over his decision to have kids with multiple women. Why he says people need to get over it.
recover from COVID-19 are rejecting the vaccine, but is natural immunity enough to protect them? Let's connect the dots. Health experts warn recovering from COVID-19 is not enough to protect from reinfection. While the antibodies from natural infection do provide some protections, the data shows the vaccines are much better at protecting you. In fact, a study published by the CDC found people with natural immunity were twice as likely to be reinfected than people who were vaccinated after recovering. That's leading doctors to recommend people who recover from COVID still get the shot. There's another issue with natural immunity. People infected with the virus are more likely not to have symptoms. That increases the risk that they'll spread COVID-19 to others, including immune-compromised friends, family, and children. While people fighting coronavirus for the second time do tend to have milder symptoms, that doesn't mean everyone's safe. There are exceptions, and reinfected patients are ending up hospitalized. In fact, one case presented in The Lancet found a 25-year-old man whose second bout with COVID was more severe than the first.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2,
Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with Al, Jeff, and Tori. Let's get to it.
They just heard with his thing. That's all that was said.
You have no idea
It was taken way out of context for people at home.
Yes, okay. All right, let's get to Nick Cannon because he is sharing his thoughts on marriage and monogamy. He recently appeared on the Breakfast Club radio show where host Charlemagne the God asked him about having 4 kids with 3 different women. Nick responded by saying that the idea of marriage or just being with one person is an outdated concept. Watch.
I understand the institution of marriage and stuff, but if we go back to what that was about, that was the classified property. That was because a father gave another man his daughter for land. So when you really get to that concept, it's like, all right, well, we got to change all of this up because I don't want ownership over anybody. I don't have ownership of any of the mothers or like we create families in that sense of we created a beautiful entity.
What do you think, Al?
I think he's right and wrong at the same time. I do agree that, back in the day, marriage was used, in terms of for literally in exchange. Sometimes there would be sheep along with the dog, like literally things like that. But now when we talk about marriage and families, there is a stability that goes with that as well. And when you start talking about the next generation having a stable situation where the dad is around, because we do see all these shows on TLC about polygamy where there's 18 kids. Everybody's like, that's so great. But I always go, does the dad know anything about those 18 kids?
Right.
What scares them? What motivates them? What really is going on with these kids rather than just clothing and feeding? Because it's bigger than that, Jeff. So I think the more people we have involved, the less the kids can get lost in the shuffle.
Right, and we're just taking Nick's Cannon's point of view here, right? We're not talking to any of the mothers.
Right.
Maybe
Good
they
point.
wanted a relationship.
Good point.
If they're both on board saying, hey, it's okay if and I'm not making a joke. If you want to impregnate me, I'll raise our kid together. I'm totally cool with that. And if you're cool with that, then I'm cool with the whole situation. But if Nick Cannon's getting all these women pregnant and none of them want him to move on, they want a father figure in the home, not just send a check every month or whatever. And I'm not, again, throwing stones at Nick Cannon. Then that doesn't work. But everyone has to be on the same page.
Yeah, as long as his boundaries were open, wide open, I have 0 problems with this. I think monogamy is not like concrete. I think it's more like water. I think partnerships, marriages, relationships, all are changing rapidly. It's flexible. You see in the Netherlands, people aren't getting married anymore. They're just becoming partners. That's a different aspect to it psychologically. So to me, whatever you want to do, if you have the boundaries open and you're communicating, go for it. What do I have to say?
I agree with all of you, but then legislation has to change because, you can't go visit your loved one in the hospital if you're just a partner. That's why the LGBTQ community fights so hard to get the same rights as you and I, being in a heterosexual relationship. So I think it's really important, yes, to each its own, just as long as he is speaking very clearly, this is what my intent is. And I can only imagine he is. If he's that forthright on this radio show, I would only hope, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, he's that forthright in his relationship. So good, no problem for it. But
I know we got to move on, but there's somebody's got to stand up for marriage as well. Like there's there's an economic and just a stability that kids do need. Nick Cannon's in a different situation, but if you do have parents that are kind of floating in between people, your living situation, literally where you live, how you live, changing, that fluctuation is not great for kids and not great for a relationship.
I'm all for that is the total opposite of what I'm looking for.
Right.
I'm all for monogamy.
But some people are into it, clearly. So.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, Al. That's very important. And I would even argue really quickly, some people do mate for life.
Yeah.
It's not only in the human species, penguins mate for life.
We've all seen March of the Penguins.
Want to remind you.
Sam got a higher education.
Right. Got to sneak
March of the Penguins
into this conversation.
I didn't see March of the Penguins.
You didn't?
Nope.
Well, it's phenomenal.
I'm afraid that an orca grabs one of us.
I think you're good. Right?
I'm pretty sure one of the penguins
You know what you just
die.
did? You just pulled that's double jeopardy.
No, I'm pretty sure one of the penguins died.
They're all dead by now. They made that 10 years ago.
All right, I don't want to watch it.
You just breezed over my double jeopardy joke.
What's double jeopardy?
You know how everyone pretends they know? They're like, you can't be charged twice. It's called double jeopardy. It's like, we've all seen the movie. You did not go to law school. We've all seen the movie. That's what you just pulled right there.
Yeah, okay. I did not see it, though. All right.
You want to tell the audience other things that you haven't seen?
Can we move
I don't like watching the animals die. Okay. Whew. Speaking of marriage. Okay, good transition after all of that. Speaking of marriage, Nicole Kidman says her husband, Keith Urban, isn't bothered by her on-screen sex scenes. Really? Speaking to E! News Daily Pop, Nicole said Keith doesn't really pay much attention to what happens while she's on set. Watch.
My husband is
an artist, so he understands all of it. And he also does not get involved in any of he sees the show at the very end when it's a show all edited together and he's fresh eyes. He doesn't read any script. He really doesn't know what's going on the set.
She does not age. But going back to her career and she commits to her sexy scenes. Let me tell you.
There's a lot of them.
Woo, she commits.
What does that mean?
There's a lot of them, and he definitely cares.
You do think so?
Yes, for sure. That's a good relationship. You give the answer that you think is right. Oh, of course, Jordan doesn't care what I do. They care. If you get home, you care. I don't want to watch a movie with my wife with Jordan and be like, hey, you didn't see this yet? Okay, because there's some intimate scenes she does, and I don't want to be laying there with my partner while they're getting it on.
But don't you
and
really?
Moaning.
You don't have any part of the craft that she disappears into that role.
Yeah,
That's her
right.
job.
Get real.
That's
my main concern. I don't want her to disappear into the role.
Nominee. She gets so deeply into it. Sex
does.
is part of the role. Big Little Lies. That was an important part of her character. That violence with the sex. If they didn't have that, you don't
no
have that
one's
kind of
saying
a
you don't have to
character.
have it.
And
Like
who are you
she can.
screaming at?
Sorry.
I get very passionate.
I'm so sorry.
No one's saying that she shouldn't be doing her craft, and she does it very well. And clearly they
Get
have.
real with that artist crap.
But I agree with Jeff that there has to be. I'm not saying that they don't have this like agreement, like okay, you do you, that's fine, but. Internally, something's got to irk him. It would irk me.
I mean, we're talking about logic versus emotion. It's just like, let's take sex out of it. Let's just say that Jordan was a UFC fighter. I don't think you'd want to see that either. You would support her all the way and through training. I don't want to see somebody knee my girl in the face. You know, I don't want to see...
Sexual or not.
Sexual, yeah, exactly. Depends, again, we're open to everything here. But it's like when you love somebody and you have a connection with somebody, you might not want to see them in a very... Fighting is as intimate
you're
as
both
well.
Really mature, and she feels comfortable with what he does on tour. He feels comfortable with what she does.
Maybe.
And remember, she was married to Tom Cruise and had a very controlling marriage. I don't think she'd feel comfortable with someone who's a bit controlling. She broke free from that. And I think she didn't seem to me to be masking something.
And that's your house, right? That's cool in your house. In my
I didn't say it was cool in my house. I was in there.
I'm just saying, like we're talking about Nick Cannon, what's cool in his house might not be cool in my house. I'm about monogamy. I'm all for artistry, and if my wife wants to do something like that, not every. I feel like every show I see a scene with Nicole Kidman having sex.
Does every movie have to have so much sex in TV
If you just close the door and you walk in there, you know what happens.
Are you right? What are you,
You don't need to be
You
guys sound
You
super
sound like a
old.
nun right now.
Okay,
Sex sells.
I'm not going to lay in my bed and listen to my wife pant
weird.
over some other guy.
And it's weird when your kids are in the next room.
But that's all about...
Move their room over down the hallway.
Oh, yeah, let me go
How
buy a
loud is your
bigger home.
television? No, Sam.
Hey, Al, my kids are
adults are allowed to view sexual things when you're an adult. You don't make it around the kids.
I don't mind having like, okay, I'm going to watch a very sexy,
sex life,
very sexy,
sex life.
We got it.
But when I'm just casually watching a TV show, I feel like every other scene sometimes is a raunchy sex.
It gets eyeballs. That's why. What? I try to say one thing at the end.
You sound like a director from the 70s. All right, it sells.
In a pitch room.
Here's your ashtray.
All right, Tom Hanks' son, Chet, is encouraging his followers not to get the COVID-19 vaccine. He recently posted a video on Instagram where at first he seemed to be all in for getting the shot, but just watch.
I suggest to all my followers, you guys set an appointment and get the vaccine first thing. Psych! If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I never had COVID. You ain't sticking me with that needle.
He seems perfectly fine.
Wow. His parents, Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson, were one of the first high-profile celebs to contract the virus. You remember, they even donated their plasma to help with COVID-19 research. What do you think about his rant, Jeff?
I think he wants attention, sadly. You know, I don't think he's really... And if you take this as knowledge, like, you won't listen to a doctor, but you listen to Chet Hanks, is why the reason you did not get the COVID-19 shot. Nature will take
I was going to say, I think if you listen to Chet Hanks, something happened to you years ago. Like, no,
I never even heard of him until he started making these outrageous videos.
Well, remember he did that video? Yeah, for Adele.
Exactly. Yeah, Jamaican patois, does rapping. He's very, like, provocateur. I know what you mean. I never heard of him.
He's desperate for attention because he's jealous of his parents.
He's a troll.
This smacked of privilege in the fact that his parents could get the best care. He knows if he was to contract COVID, he would get literally the best care possible. And so he's just like, yeah, you guys don't do that either. They're not talking to people that might not have any health insurance, that might not have any cushion to lose their job. So it's privilege, but he's such a goofball. You can't even.
Well, let me ask you guys.
mad.
You guys are parents. If you were Tom Hanks, I don't have kids. You're Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson, and you're watching your child do that. What do you do?
It's artistry.
Oh, please.
That was your excuse.
No, he's not an artist. He's a troll, like Sam
I would
said.
be super
I would be disappointed. I'm joking. I'd be disappointed. Yes.
I would also try to get him to have like a full-length conversation with Dr. Coley and say whatever concerns that you have, please.
Sam, he's like 34. You're not getting through at this point.
That's not true.
They had a chance to nip that in the bud when he was acting like a goofball. I almost said something else. At 8 or 9, they didn't. Remember, he was doing weird stuff on the red carpet a couple years ago where he was rapping or something on the red carpet.
Why was he on the red carpet?
Because his dad is the most famous actor in the world, Sam. And so, you know, he's been allowed to do this forever.
Right, there's no.
And so, like at 34, I don't know, is it too late? Do you just let your failed son go?
Super embarrassing.
No, you do not let your failed son go. You keep chipping at him.
At 50, he's going to round the corner.
That doesn't work out. First of all, 34 is just a shot in the dark.
Yeah,
a couple of years ago, he was 8 or 9.
And at 31.
I'm saying he was probably acting like a jerk early, and they did nothing, and now he's
You
grown.
don't know that they did nothing. He could have been a lone sheep. Coming up.
Yeah, exactly.
I meant to say the black sheep. Right? The lone sheep's different than the black sheep.
The lone wolf and the black sheep.
Okay. Coming up on DBL. Are you addicted to your phone? A new survey reveals the number of people who can't skip screen time. And a single mom starts a Girl Scout troop in her own homeless shelter. Why this group is much more than badges and cookies.
Closed captioning provided by
Hey guys, I just wanted to say we're about to do a segment in which we talk about our phone usage, and you're about to hear some stuff coming from me that's not going to be good. I think you're going to be surprised. I think something.
What's that?
We're doing a segment next about our phone usage, and I think you're going to see something really embarrassing about me in that, because we're going to show each of our screen
I think
times.
they could put it together. You're on your phone too much? That's
Yeah,
what you're saying.
but my question to you out there is, don't you use your phone for books? I watch The Sopranos because I just started The Sopranos on it.
DBL.
You watch DBL. Of course you're watching DBL.
And by the way, screen time doesn't mean your phone. It means your iPad, your
Anything,
television,
right.
any screen that
So
you look
I'm going
at.
to look really bad in about 5 minutes, but I think it's because I use this as like a control center.
I could take, well, I will. So here's my
Stay
argument. I don't go, my phone is not a crutch for me, but I do enjoy television. I like watching my shows. I like to go to bed watching television.
Yeah.
So that counts as screen time.
It
so if you
does?
yeah, all.
You mean if you're streaming stuff?
No, screen is a screen.
No, but on your phone they added up your screen time, literally, to
I know,
the hour
but
minutes.
you could do that on your phone, but the story that we're doing is screen time in general.
Oh, okay, cool.
If we did a phone story, how much you're on your phone and Instagram, you'd be shamed.
He doesn't seem like he's hurting for anything.
That's right. That's a good. Someone's gonna click that and do a nice meme.
By the way, I just started The Sopranos, never seen it before, and so much of what you say comes from Tony Soprano when he's like, what do you want, you wackadoo? What are you, bananas? I'm like, oh my God, that's Jeff Schroeder.
That's super stereotypical.
That's what you say. You call me bananas constantly.
Wackadoo?
You call me wackadoo
Should
too.
I binge watch this?
I know. I just got my thing out.
Gross. Ugh. We hate each other here.
Wednesday on DBL, a man gets convicted of kidnapping and killing a federal agent.
It was just cold-blooded assassination.
Why is he free decades later? Don't miss this all-new True Crime Chronicles. Plus, TikTok trailblazers. Meet a couple who acts as an all-accepting family for millions of LGBTQ kids. That's Wednesday on DBL.
Welcome back to DBL. 2 million. That's how many American kids will face a period of homelessness this year. It is a staggering and heartbreaking number that Giselle Burgess and her young family know firsthand. That's today's Strong Women story.
She's a single mom with 5 little mouths to feed.
I am a very ambitious person, and so I like to take on more than I can handle at times.
Life is busy. Between the school drop-offs, her office job, and volunteering at her daughter's Girl Scout troop.
The girls really wanted to join because their friends were in the troop. At first, it took me a while. I was really skeptical, like, I don't know if I have time to do this. But then them just always on top of me. Somehow I was tricked into becoming a troop leader.
Their lives are routine and safe until it's all ripped out from underneath them. My landlord is deciding to sell the house that we were living in, and so trying to find a new apartment became our new struggle of where are we going to live? Where are we going to go to next? They seek refuge in a New York City homeless shelter. And then as a parent, you have to uphold this certain way and letting your kids know, like, you know, everything's fine. But on the inside, I'm literally screaming and crying, like, what am I going to do? Giselle and her kids struggle to find normalcy.
I am the eldest, and I feel like I had to put a brave face on. So I feel like it was my responsibility to try to bring everyone's mood up and, you know, let them know that we're gonna get through this.
Show them the way, girls, show them the way. Looking to build a community for her family, Giselle decides to start a Girl Scout troop at the shelter. There's so many rules and regulations when you move into the shelter system. I get that it's for security purposes, but we still have children, right? We still have children in the situation that need to see that there's hope. Giselle founds Troop 6000,
which is the first homeless Girl Scout troop right here in New York City.
All of its members are girls from the shelter.
Immediately, we clicked. We all builded a sisterhood based off of our experiences, and I have never met girls like them before.
Each girl learns courage, confidence, and character. We got our first group of girls, and they had such a great time and went back to their parents so excited. And next thing you know, we just started growing. Today, Troop 6000 consists of more than 20 homeless shelters across New York, creating a sisterhood unlike any other. And it was just such a beautiful thing to see all the support that our girls got and how incredible our city is when it comes to building community and enforcing it.
Giselle and her family moved out of the shelter in 2018, and their remarkable story has inspired a book written by Nikita Stewart of the New York Times. Aww. Troop 6000, the Girl Scout troop that began in a shelter and inspired the world, is available now on Amazon. Coming up on DBL, could you go a full day without any screen time? A new survey reveals how many people just can't live without it.
First things first, if you haven't taken a picture of your COVID vaccination card, do it now, front and back. It's one of the best backup plans there is. Even the CDC recommends it. Just don't take a selfie and don't post it online. If it's already too late and you've misplaced or lost that card, you can get another copy. The best place to start is where you got the shot. If that happens to be a pharmacy or store, you can contact them to get a replacement card. Some, like Walmart and CVS, even let you access your information through their apps. If that doesn't work, reach out to the state health department's immunization information system. All vaccine providers have to report to the IIS. You can also contact the IIS directly. Keep in mind it could take a couple of weeks to get that replacement card that way. There are also apps you can download to store a digital copy of your vaccine card, but do your research before you download anything. And that's Connecting the Dots. For Mile High Mornings, I'm Alexandra Lewis.
Welcome back to DBL. When was the last time you went a full day without looking at your phone? Be honest. You'd never believe this, but 73% of adults find it very difficult to go an entire day without looking at a screen. That includes computers, tablets, TVs, and phones. But before we discuss this, out of the group, who spends the most time on their phone? We do not know, but we did talk to producers about our individual screen time. We showed them on our phones, so we can't lie. Drum roll, please. The host who is the most glued to their phone is, at 9 hours and 19 minutes, Tori.
No,
Wait,
Al.
Al. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
There is an asterisk there.
Whoa.
Yes, I have. No, I was home last week, and my youngest Ford has my phone all the time downloading things. That's not me. I'm far from that, but that's why that's that.
Hey, denial.
Super guilty.
That's the first sign, buddy. That's the first sign.
Tori wasn't far behind you, though.
No.
Tori's at 8 hours and 21 minutes a day.
What are you doing on there?
To be honest, I do podcasts, I read books, and I watch Netflix all on my phone. I'm almost always with it. If I'm gardening, I'm podcasting. If I'm reading, I'm cross-stitching. So I do feel bad about that, but I think this is my recreational center, a rec center.
Your life sounds sad.
I spend 5 hours and 2 minutes on average, and then Jeff spends the least time on his phone at 4 hours and 1 minute.
Jeff's my hero.
Yeah, but now this does encompass not just social media. It can be if you're on a phone call talking to your friends. It could be you're watching something on Netflix. We have our morning call every morning. It could be anything that it has to do with your phone. So I wonder if Pandora's on there. Because I'm listening to Pandora like all afternoon. Because I really do not go use my phone when I'm home, except for Pandora. So I'm interested in that.
Welcome to 2016.
What?
Pandora.
Can we go to Napster?
What's the alternative?
Spotify?
Oh, my husband uses Spotify.
Okay, well.
I already have Pandora on my phone. I'm not going to download another app. I try not to be on my phone.
Okay, well, clearly
Mr.
it's
9
been
hours
2016.
a day. 9
That's
hours
baby
a
Ford.
day.
You're yelling at my baby son. Yeah, no, I really just, I like to look at sports and call you and talk about sports. So that's where I do most of my.
Sports is the number one reason why people use their phones.
Yeah, that's it. You know I'm a junkie with that.
Sports.
I love sports.
What's really happening with that phone?
I do editing too.
Okay, we'll be right back. Yes.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Will free lunch be offered to all students this school year? Let's verify. Our sources, the U.S. Department of Agriculture and registered dietitian Aaron Falls. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, schools and daycare facilities will continue to serve free meals through June 2022. Schools across the country will be allowed to serve meals through the USDA's National Lunch Program's Seamless Summer Operation, which is usually only available during summer months. This makes all students eligible for free lunches. The USDA school program has an emphasis on fruits, veggies, milk, and whole grains, which can make it easier on parents and students, according to Aaron Falls.
Research shows that receiving free or reduced price school lunches reduces food insecurity, obesity rates, as well as poor health, right? So we know that all of those three items are huge issues with our nation. And so this really can help with that.
According to the USDA, up to 12 million children are currently living in households where they may not have enough to eat during the pandemic.
School lunch is critical to student health and well-being, especially for low-income students. It ensures that students have nutrition they need throughout the day to learn.
So we can verify that, yes, free lunches will be available to all students this school year.
Here in Mecklenburg County, CMS tells us they still encourage students to fill out their free lunch form. They tell us it helps them know the number of people who need it, which helps with funding. And we are continuing to verify your back to school questions. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us by email at verify@wcnc.com or on my social media pages. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Tomorrow on DBL, a man gets convicted of kidnapping and killing a federal agent.
It was just cold-blooded assassination.
Why is he free decades later? Don't miss this all-new True Crime Chronicles. Plus, TikTok trailblazers. Meet a couple who acts as an all-accepting family for millions of LGBTQ kids. That's tomorrow on DBL.
Welcome back to DBL. The summer games might be over, but some astronauts on the International Space Station are showing off their Olympic moves in zero gravity. They competed in some unofficial Olympic games, including the lack of floor routine, no handball, where they used their mouths to move a ping pong ball, and weightless sharpshooting, which pretty much looks like they're flinging a large rubber band. So cool. Here's my fave. Check out their synchronized swimming routines. Here we go.
Wow, the crowd's going wild with that move.
Go ahead, Al.
Wow. Al gave a whole speech over.
I thought it was going to fade off. I didn't know we were going to play the extended version.
And Sam was going, ooh, cool.
It went for 30 hours.
I'm like, I can't hear
How
anything.
long are they up? They just seem bored.
Why don't they go all the way to the moon? What
Because
are they
there's
doing?
nothing on the moon.
Listen, I want to really have this conversation. Go up there.
You think the moon is inside out and there's stuff in the middle.
That's somewhat
It's not.
true.
It's
Like a milk
expensive
dud?
to go to the moon. Exactly.
We're wasting money. They're doing the Macarena in space. Go up there.
The Macarena.
Yeah,
That was pretty
Sam
embarrassing.
that just came up on Sam's Pandora.